amazing artwork will be auctioned in this beautiful. And in this auction, we're using multiple platforms, which include bid, telephone bid, and also internet bid. So I'm going to ask you to please to be patient as to make sure all the bidders from all platforms are having the best experience. And before we start the auctions, I would like to remind you there is 22% of buyer premium will be charged to all the winner in this auction, and additional up to 5% to all the winner from infallible platform. Can we start telephone bid? Are you guys ready? Perfect. Now, without further ado, let me start with lot number one. For lot number one, it's Barong and Rangda by Affandi. The current bid is 100,000 on internet bid at 100,000 at 100 now. Now at 100,000 on internet bid at 100,000. Now at 100,000. I'm looking for one for the next bid. Now at 100,000 on internet bid at 100,000. Now at 100,000 on internet bid at 100,000 now. It seems like any telephone bid now at 100,000 on internet bid at 100,000. At 100,000 now on internet bid. Now at 100,000. I'm looking for 110 for the next bid. At 100,000. 110. Thank you very much. Telephone bid at 110. Internet bid. It's against you now. I'm back to you. Now at 110 on telephone bid at 110. Now at 110. I'm looking for 120 for the next bid. At 110 now. Now at 110. I'm looking for 120 for the next bid. 120. Thank you very much. Now at 120. At 120 now. Previous telephone bid is against you now. I'm back to you. Now at 120. 130. Thank you very much, sir. Now at 130. At 130 now. I'm looking for 140 for the next bid. 140. Thank you very much. Now at 140. At 140 now. Now at 140. I'm looking for 150 for the next bid. At 140 now. 150. Thank you very much. Now at 150. It's against you now. I'm back to you. Now at 150. I'm looking for 160 for the next bid. At 150 now. At 150 now. Now at 150. A real done. No bid. I'm going to count it at 150,000 going once. Now at 150,000 going twice. A real done. No bid. Favor warning. I'm going to sell it now at 150. So at 150,000, 892. Thank you very much. 892. Now we move to lot number two. Number two. Lot number two, Maestro and Friends, situated by Affandi. For lot number two, I would like to start from 90,000 at 90 now. Now at 90, I'm looking for 90,000. For lot number two by Affandi at 90,000. Now I'm still looking for 90,000 at 90,000. Now I'm still looking for 90,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 90,000 for number two by Affandi at 90,000. Now at 90,000. Now I'm still looking for 90,000 for number two. A real done. Number bid at 90,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number three. For lot number three, it's a computer answer by Srihadi Soedarsono. For lot number three, I would like to start from 36,000. 36. Now I'm looking for 36,000. At 36,000. Now I'm looking for 36,000. At 36. Now I'm looking for 36,000. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 36,000 for number 3 by Srihadi Soedarsono at 36,000. At 36,000 now, I'm still looking for 36,000. At 36,000 now. At 36,000, a real done, number bid at 36,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 4. For lot number 4, Horizon by Ahmad Sadali. For lot number 4, the current bid is 4-4. Internet bid is 4-4. Now at 4-4. I'm looking for 4-6. 4-6. Thank you. Now at 4-6. On telephone bid at 4-6. Internet bid against you now. 4-8. Thank you. Now at 4-8. Another telephone bid at 4-8. 5. Thank you very much. Now at 5. At 5,000. Now at 5,000. Now at 5,000. Previous telephone bid is against you now. I'm back to you now at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. No more. Are you sure? No regret. Thank you very much. Now at 5,000 on telephone speed. At 5,000. 5,500. Thank you. Now at 5,500. At 5,500 now. Now at 5,500. At 5,500. At 5,500 now. I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5,500. 6. Thank you very much. Now at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. I'm looking for 6,500 for the next bid. At 6,000 now. 6,500. Thank you very much. Now at 6,500. At 6,500 now. Now at 6,500. At 6,500 now. I'm looking for 7,000 for the next bid. At 6,500 now. Now at 6,500. On telephone speed. 6,500. I real done. Lower bid. I'm going to count it. Now it's 6,500 going once. Now it's 6,500 going twice. Real done. Lower bid. I'm going to sell it now at 6,500. Sold at 6,500. 851. Thank you very much. 1. Now we move to number 5. It's portrayed by Hendra Gunawan. Number 5, I would like to start from 60,000. 60,000. Now I'm looking for 60,000. At 60,000. Now I'm still looking for 60,000 for number 5 by Hendra Gunawan. It's a self-portrait by Hendra Gunawan. I'm looking for 60,000. At 60,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 60,000 for number 5. It's a self-portrait by Hendra Gunawan. 60,000. Now I'm still looking for 60,000. At 60,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 60,000 for number 5. At 60,000. At 60,000 now. Real done. Number bid at 60,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 6. For lot number 6, it's an empty barrel by Nyoman Masriadi. For lot number 6, I would like to start from 110,000 at 110. At 110. 110. Thank you very much. Now at 110. Telephone speed at 110. At 110 now. Now at 110. On telephone speed at 110. I'm looking for 120 for the next bid. Now at 110. At 110,000. Now at 110. 120. Thank you. Now at 120. Use your own internet bid. 20. But as again, you know, I'm back to you at 120. Internet bid 120. At 120 now. Now at 120. I'm looking for 130 for the next page. At 120 now. 125. Thank you. Now at 125. Now at 125,000. On telephone speed at 125. Back to telephone speed 125. Internet bid at now. I'm back to you. Now at 125. I'm looking for 130,000 for the next page. Now at 125. At 125 now. Now at 125,000. At 125,000. I'm looking for 130 next bid. Now at 125. Internet bid education now. I'm back to you. Now at 125,000. At 125,000. Now real done. Number bid at 125,000. I'm going to count it at 125,000 going once. Now at 125,000 going twice. Real done. Number bid fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 125,000. So 125,726. Thank you very much. 726. Now we move to 7. It's a decorative magical abstraction by Vidal. For lot number 7, I would like 6,000. 6,000 now. Now I'm looking for 6,000 at 6,000. Now I'm still looking for 6,000 for number 7 by Hidayat at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now I'm still looking for 6,000 at 6,000. Now I'm looking for 6,000 for number 7 by Hidayat at 6,000. At 6,000. Now I'm still looking for 6,000 at 6,000 now. Roll down. Remember it at 6,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 8. Lot number 8. The shop girl by Edison Arso. The current bid is 90,000 at 19,000. Now at 19. 20. Thank you. 20,000. Telephone bid at 20,000. Internet bid against you now. I'm back to you. It's against you. Now 20,000 on telephone page at 20,000. I'm looking for 22,000 for next page. Now 20 at 20,000. 21. Thank you. Now 20 on telephone page at 21,000. At 21,000. Now 21,000. At 21,000. Previous telephone page is against you. I'm back to you. Now 22. Thank you. Now 22 back to the bid at 22,000. Now 22,000. At 22 now. Telephone space is against you both now. 23. Thank you. Now 23,000. At 23 now. Back to telephone space at 23,000. Now 23,000. 24. Thank you. Now 24. At 24 now. Now 24. At 24,000. 25. Thank you very much. Now 25. At 25 now. At 25. Previous telephone page and internet page now. Now 25,000. I'm looking for 26,000 for the next page. Now 25. 26. Thank you. Now 26. Back to internet page at 26,000. At 26 now. Now 26,000. On internet page at 26,000. Telephone page is against you both now. Now 26,000 on internet page at 26,000. At 26,000 now. Real done. Norbert, I'm going to count it at 26,000 going once. Now 26,000 going twice. Real done. Norbert, I'm going to set it now at 26,000. So 26,000 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 26,000. Now we move to lot 9. Number 9 by Jago Pakik. I would like to start from 4,000 at 14. Now I'm looking for 14 at 14,000. Now I'm looking for 14 for number 9 by Jago Pakik at 14,000. Now I'm still looking for 14 at 14,000. Now I'm still looking for 14,000. 14. Now I'm still looking for 14,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 14,000 for number 9 at 14,000. Real done. Number bid at 14,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 10. For lot number 10, it's My Guardian by One Casino. The current 2,000 on internet bid at 2,000 now. Now at 2,000, I'm looking for 22 for next page. Now at 2,000. At 2,000 on internet bid at 2,000. Now at 2,000, I'm looking for 22 for the next page. Now at 2,000. At 2,000. Now at 2,000. Anyone? Now at 2,000 on internet bid, I'm looking for 22 for the next page. At 2,000 now. Now 2,000. At 2,000. Anyone want to be more than 2,000? Now 2,000 on internet bid at 2,000. I'm looking for 224 at 2,000 now. Real done. No bid. Fair warning. I'm getting it now at 2,000. So at 2,000 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 2,000. Now we move to lot number 11. Lot number 11 is about wrong by obviously. For lot number 11, I would like to start from 11,000 at 11. Now I'm looking for 11,000 for lot number 11 by Rusty. 11,000. Now I'm looking for 11,000. 11, thank you. Now it's 11,000. On telephone speed at 11,000. 11,000. Now it's 11,000. I'm looking for 12,000 for the next page. Now it's 11. 11,000. 12, thank you. Now 12,000. You bidder on internet bid at 12,000. Telephone speed is against you now. Now 12,000. At 12,000 now. Now 12,000. At 12,000 now. Now 12,000 on internet bid at 12,000. It's against you now. Back to you. Now 12,000. At 12,000. Now real done. No bid. I'm going to count at 12,000 going once. Now 12,000 going twice. Real done. No bid. Fair warning. I'm going to now at 12,000. Sold at 12,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations. At 12,000. Now we move to number 12. It's a roll like that girl. For number 12, I would like to start from 14,000. 14. Now I'm looking for 14. At 14,000. Now I'm looking for 14. For number 12. At 14. Now I'm looking for 14,000. 14, thank you. Now at 14. Telephone speed at 14. At 14 now. Now at 14. On telephone speed at 14,000. Now at 14. I'm looking for 15,000. 14.5. Thank you. Now 14.5. Now at 14.5. Another telephone speed at 14.5. Previous telephone speed education now. Now at 14.5. I'm looking for 15 for the next bit. Now at 14.5. 5,000. 15. Now at 15. Thank you. 15. At 15. Now at 15. At 15 now. It's again. I'm back. Now at 15. 15.5. Thank you. Now at 15.5. At 15.5 now. Now at 55. I'm looking for 16,000 for the next bit. Now at 15.5. Now at 15,500. I roll that. Norbit, I'm going to count it at 15,500 going once. Now at 15.5 going twice. I roll that. Norbit, fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 15,500. Sold at 15,500 to telephone speed 785. Thank you very much. 785. Now we move to number 13. Number 13 is a Rolex goes. I would like to start from 14,000 at 14. Now I'm looking for 14,000 at 14. Now I'm taking 14,000. 14. Thank you very much. Now 14. At 14. At 14. Now at 14,000. At 14,000. Now at 14,000. Anyone want to be more than 14,000? Now at 14,000 on telephone space at 14,000. 15. Thank you. Now at 15. You're on internet page at 15,000. Telephone space is finishing now. I'm back to you. Now at 15. At 15,000 now. Now at 15. 16. Thank you. Now at 16. At 16 now. Back to telephone page at 16,000. Internet page, it's get you now. I'm back to you. Now at 16,000 on telephone page at 16,000. Now at 16. At 16,000. Now at 16.5. Thank you. Now at 16.5. Now at 16.5. New telephone speech at 16.5. Now at 16.5. I'm looking for 17,000 for the next bid. At 16.5 now. Now at 16.5. A real done. No bid. I'm going to count it at 16.5. Going once. Now it's 16,500 going twice. A real done. No bid. Fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 16.5. So at 16.5 to telephone speed. 743. Thank you very much. 743. Now we move to lot number 14. This is again Abdulaziz. For lot number 14, I would like to start from 36 at 3,600 at 36 now. Now I'm looking for 36 at 36. Now I'm looking for 36 for number 14. By Abdulaziz at 36. 36. Thank you. Now 36 on telephone page at 36. At 36 now. Now 36. I'm looking for 38 for the next bit. Now 36. At 36 now. I'm looking for 38 for the next bit. At 36 now. Now 36. I'm looking for 38. Any telephone bit. Now 36. At 36 now. I'm looking for 38. If you wish. 38. Thank you. Now 38. At 38 now. New telephone speed at 38. Previous telephone speed. Excuse you now. I'm back to you. Now 38. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bit. Now 38. At 38 now. On telephone speed at 38. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bit. At 38 now. Now 38. Real done. Robert, I'm going to count it 3,800 going once. Now 38 going twice. Real done. Robert, fair warning. I'm going to set it out 38. Sold at 3,800, 768. Thank you very much. 768. Now we move to number 15. Number 15 is a girl and red flower by Abdulaziz. For number 15, I would like to sound from 28 at 28. At 28. Now I'm still looking for 28. At 2,800. Now I'm still looking for 2,800. 28. Thank you very much. Now 28. Telephone at 28. At 28 now. Now 28. At 28 now. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bit. Now 28. At 28 now. 285. 29. 29. Thank you. Now 29. At 29. Now 29. At 29. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bit. 3 if you wish. 3. Thank you very much. Now 3. At 3,000 now. At 3,000. Now 3,000. 3-1. Thank you. Now 3-1. At 3-1. Now 3-1. I'm looking for 3-2 for the next bit. Now 3-1. At 3,100. 3-2. Thank you. Now 3-2. At 3-2 now. Now 3-2. At 3-2 now. Now 3-2. I'm looking for 3-4 for the next bit. Now 3-2. At 3-2 now. Real done. Robert, I'm going to count it at 3,200 going once. Now 3,000. 3-4. Thank you. Now at 3-4. Computer on internet bit at 3-4. Telephone speed is against your both now. Now 3-4. at 3-4 now. Now at 3-4. No more. Thank you very much. Now at 3-4 on internet page at 3-4. At 3-4 now. Real done. No more bid at 3-4. I'm gonna count it at 3,400 going once. Now 3,400 going twice. Real done. No more bid. Fair warning. I'm gonna sell it now at 3-4. Sold at 3,400 internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 3-4. Now we move to lot number 16. It's a jumbo seller, but probably Susmita Winata. For lot number 16, I would like to start from 6,000. 6,000. Now I'm looking for 6,000. At 6,000. Now I'm still looking for 6,000. At 6,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 6,000 for number 16. 6,000. Thank you. Now at 6,000. At 6,000. Now at 6,000. At 6,000 I'm looking for 6,500 for the next bid. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000 I'm looking for 6,500 for the next bid. At 6,000. 6,2. Thank you. Now at 6,2. At 6,2 now. Now at 6,2. Previous telephone speed. It's against you now. Now at 6,2. I'm looking for 6,500 for the next bid. Now at 6,2. At 6,2 now. 6,500 now. At 6,500. Internet bid at 6,500. New bidder on internet bid at 6,500. Telephone bid. It's against you both now. Now at 6,500. At 6,500 now. At 6,500 now. Real done. No more bid at 6,500. I'm gonna count it at 6,500 going once. Now at 6,500 going twice. Real done. No more bid. Fair warning. I'm gonna sell it now at 6,500. 6,700. Thank you. Now at 7. At 7 now. Now at 7. On telephone bid at 7,000. At 7,000. Now at 7. Internet bid, it's get you now. I'm back to you now at 7,000. Back to telephone bid at 7,000. I'm looking for 7,500 next bid. Now at 7,000. At 7,000 now. Now at 7,000. At 7,000 now. Real done. Norbit, I'm gonna count it at 7,500. Thank you. Now at 7,500. Back to internet bid at 7,500 now. Now at 7,500. At 7,500 now, I'm looking for 80,000 for the next bid. Now at 7,500. At 7,500 now. Now at 7,500, I'm looking for 8,000 for the next bid. At 7,500 now. Real done. Norbit at 7,500. I'm gonna cut it at 7,500 going once. Now at 7,500 going twice. Real done. Norbit fair warning. I'm gonna sell it now at 7,500. Sold at 7,500. I'm sorry, already sold to internet bid at 7,500. Now we move to lot number 17. Lot number 17 by Garrett Pedro Adolf. Lot number 17, I would like to start from 6,000 at 6,000 now. Now I'm looking for 6,000 at 6,000. Now I'm looking for 6,000 at 6,000. Now anyone? Now I'm still looking for 6,000 for number 17 at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 6,000 for number 17 by Garrett Pedro Adolf at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now I'm still looking for 6,000. A real done. No bid at 6,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 18. Number 18 is the street vendors by Garrett Adolf. I would like to start from 1,700 at 1,700. Now I'm looking for 1,700 at 1,700. Now I'm still looking for 1,700. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1,700 for number 18 at 1,700. At 1,700. At 1,700 now. Now I'm still looking for 1,700. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1,700 for number 18 At 1.7 now. Well done. Your bid at 1.7. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 19. Number 19 is corner of Tongmango by Riyadh. Number 19, I would like to sell 4.2 at 4,200. 4.2 now. Now I'm looking for 4.2 at 4.2 at 4,200. Now I'm still looking for 4.2 at 4,200. 4.2, thank you. Now at 4.2. At 4.2 now. On telephone speed at 4.2. I'm looking for 4.4 for the next bit. Now at 4.2. At 4.2 now. Now at 4.2. At 4,200. 4.4, thank you. Now at 4.4. At 4.4 now. Telephone speed, it's get you now. I'm back to you now at 4.4. I'm looking for 4.6 for the next bit. Now at 4.4. On internet bit at 4.4. I'm looking for 4.6 for the next bit. 4.6, thank you. Now at 4.6. Back to telephone speed at 4.6. At 4.6 now. Now at 4.6. Internet bit, it's against you now. I'm back to you now at 4.6. I'm looking for 4.8 for the next bit. Now at 4.6. At 4.6 now. Now at 4,600. Now at 4.6 on telephone speed at 4.6. Real done. More bit. I'm going to count it 4,600 going once. Now at 4,600 going twice. Real done. More bit. Fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 4.6. Sold at 4.6. The telephone speed. Can I see the number, please? 891. Thank you very much. 891. Now you move to number 20. It's a traditional village by Trudy at Martin Rica. Number 20, I would like to start from 2.2 at 2.2 now. Now I'm looking for 2.2 at 2.2. Now I'm looking for 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2. Now I'm still looking for 2.2. 2.2. Thank you very much. Now 2.2 at 2.2 now. Now at 2.2. I'm looking for 2.4 for the next bit. Now at 2.2 at 2.2 now. Now at 2.2, I'm looking for 2.4 for the next bit. At 2.2 now. 2.3. Thank you very much. Now 2.3. You are on telephone speed at 2.3. At 2.3 now. It's against you now. I'm back to you. Now at 2.3. I'm looking for 2.4 for the next bit. At 2.3 now. Now at 2.4. Thank you. Now at 2.4. At 2.4 now. Now at 2.4. At 2.4 now. Now 2.4. Back to previous telephone speed at 2.4. At 2.4 now. I'm looking for 2.6 for the next bit. At 2.4. Now at 2,400. Real done. Your bid, I'm going to count it at 2,400 going once. Now at 2,400 going twice. Real done. No bid, fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 2,400. So at 2,400 to telephone speed 804. Thank you very much. 804. Now we move to 21. It's a full moon by Marbianta. The 21, I would like to start from 5.5 at 5,500. Now I'm looking for 5.5 at 5.5 at 5,500 at 5.5. Now I'm looking for 5.5 at 5.5. Now I'm still looking for 5.5. Number 21 by Maribianta at 5.5. 81. Now I'm still looking for 5.5 at 5.5 now. At 5.5 at 5,500. Now I'm still looking for 5.5. Real done. No bid at 5.5. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 22. Lot number 22. It's a black calligraphy on white with Maribianta. I would like to start from 4.4 at 4.4. At 4.4. Now at 4.4. I'm looking for 4,400. For lot number 22 by Maribianta at 4.4. At 4,400. At 4.4. Now I'm looking for 4.4. At 4.4. At 4,400. At 4.4 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 4.4. at 4-4. Well done. Number bid at 4,400. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 23. Lot number 23. It's a lady by Jihan Sequadro. I would like to start from 5-5 at 5,500. 5-5 at 5-5. Now I'm looking for 5-5 for lot number 23. It's a lady by Jihan Sequadro at 5-5. Thank you, 955. You're on internet bid at 5-5. I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5-5. At 5-5 now. Anyone want a bit more in the 5,500? 955 on internet bid at 5-5. At 5-5 now. Now at 5-5. At 5,500. At 5-5 now. Well done. Now a bit fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 5-5. Stood at 5-5 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 5-5. Now we move to number 24. It's a horse card by Lemon 4. The current bid is at 2-4 on internet bid at 2-4 now. Down 2-4 at 2-4. I'm looking for 2-6 for the next bid. Now 2-4 at 2-4 now at 2,400. Now at 2-4 at 2-4 now. Now at 2-4 on internet bid at 2,400 at 2-4. Now at 2,400 at 2-4 now. Anyone want a bit more than 2-4? Now at 2-4 on internet bid at 2-4. At 2-4 now. Well done. No more bid fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 2,400. So at 2,400 internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 2-4. Now we move to number 25. It's a self-portrait by Lemon 4. Number 25. I would like to start from 2,000 at 2,000 now. Now 2,000. I'm looking for 2,000 at 2,000. Now I'm still looking for 2,000 for number 25 at 2,000 at 2,000. Now I'm still looking for 2,000 for number 25 at self-portrait by Lemon 4 at 2,000. At 2,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2,000 for number 25 at 2,000. At 2,000 now. Now I'm still looking for 2,000 for the 25 at 2,000. At 2,000 now. Well done. Number bid at 2,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 26. Number 26 is Black Cat by Popo Iskandar. Number 26. I would like to start from 2,800 at 2,800 at 2,800 at 2,800. Now I'm looking for 2,800 at 2,800 at 2,800. Now I'm looking for 2,800 at 2,800 now. Now I'm selling 8 for the 26 by Popo Iskandar at 2,800 at 2,800 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 2,800 at 2,800 now. Well done. Number bid at 2,800. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 27. Well, number 27. It's a two leopard by the Sun by Popo Iskandar. For number 27. I would like to start from 5,000 at 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. I'm looking for 5,000 at 5,000. Now I'm looking for 5,000 at 5,000. Now I'm still looking for 5,000 for 27 at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 5,000 for the 27 by Popo Iskandar at 5,000. At 5,000 now. I'm still looking for 5,000 at 5,000. Now I'm still looking for 5,000. Well done. Number bid at 5,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 28. Lot number 28 is a portrait of his wife, Maria Hofker Ritter, by William Gerard Hofker. Number 28. I would like to start from 3-4 at 3-4. Now I'm looking for 3-4 at 3-4 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 3-4 at 3,400 at 3-4. Now I'm still looking for 3-4 for the 28 at 3-4 Now I'm still looking for 3-4. Any telephone speed? 3-4. Thank you very much. Now 3-4 on telephone speed at 3-4. I'm looking for 3-6 for the speed. Now 3-4 on telephone speed at 3-4. At 3-4 now. Now 3-4. I'm looking for 3-6 for the speed. Now 3-4 on telephone speed at 3-4. At 3,400 now. Anyone want to be more than 3-4? Now at 3-4 are real done. Number bit fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 3,400. So that's 3,400, 819. Thank you very much, 819. Now we move to level 29. Level 29. It's a portrait of Father of Bonnet by Rudolph Bonnet. Level 29. I would like to start from 3-4 at 3-4 now. Now I'm looking for 3,400 at 3-4. Now I'm looking for 3-4 at 3,400. Now I'm still looking for 3-4. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 3,400 at 3-4 now. Now I'm still looking for 3-4 at 3-4 now. 3-4. Thank you very much. Now 3-4 at 3-4 now. On telephone at 3-4 at 3-4. Now at 3-4, I'm looking for 3-6 for the next bit. At 3-4 now. Now 3-4. On telephone speed at 3-4. I'm looking for 3-6 for the next bit. At 3-4 now. Now 3-4. Anyone want to be holding 3-4? Now at 3-4. Real done. Number bit fair warning. I'm getting it now at 3-4. So at 3-4. 819. Thank you very much. 819. Now we move to level 30. Level 30 is a conversation by Geraldo. Level 30, I would like to start from 1-5 at 1-5 now. Now looking for 1-5 at 1-5. Now I'm looking for 1-5 at 1,500 at 1-5. 1-5. Thank you. Now at 1-5. At 1-5 now. Now at 1-5. At 1-5 now. On telephone speed at 1-5. At 1-5 now. Now at 1-5. 1-6. Thank you very much. Now at 1-6. New telephone speed at 1-6. At 1-6 now. Now at 1-6. At 1-6 now. I'm looking for 1-7 for the next bit. At 1-6. Now at 1-6. I'm looking for 1-7 for the next bit. At 1-6 now. I'm looking for 1-7 for the next bit. It's 1-6 on telephone speed. At 1-6 now. Real done. Number bit, I'm going to count it at 1,600 going once. Now at 1-6 going twice. Real done. Number bit. Fair warning. I'm going to set now at 1-6. So it's 1-6 to 811. Thank you very much. 811. Now we move to number 31. Number 31 is the switch vendors by Capital Adolf. Number 31, I would like to start from 1-5 at 1-5. Now I'm looking for 1-5 at 1,500 at 1-5. Now I'm looking for 1-5. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1-5 at 1-5. Now I'm looking for 1-5 at 1-5. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1-5 at 1-5. At 1,500 for number 31 at 1-5. At 1-5 now. Anyone? At 1-5. Real done. Number bit 1-5. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 32. Number 32 is a Joyful Harvest Festival by Arlie Bradley. Currently it's a 4 on internet bit at 4-2 now. Now at 4-2. I'm going for 4-4 for the next bit. Now at 4-2. At 4-2 now. Now at 4-2. 4-4. Thank you. Now at 4-4. On telephone speed at 4-4. Internet bit it's against you now. Now at 4-4. I'm looking for 4-6 for the next bit. Now at 4-4. At 4-4 now. On telephone speed at 4-4. I'm looking for 4-6 for the next bit. At 4-4 now. 4-6. Thank you. New telephone speed at 4-6. At 4-6 now. Now at 46 previous telephone speed and internet speed is against you both now. Now at 46. I'm looking for 48 for the next page. At 46 now. Now at 46, I'm looking for 48 for the next page. At 46 now. Now at 46. 48. Thank you. Now at 48. Back to internet page at 48. At 48 now. Now at 485. Thank you. Now at 5,000. At 5,000. Back to telephone page at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. At 5,000. Now at 5,000. Internet bit against you now. Now at 5,000. Give for 5,500 for the next bit. Now at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. Real done. No bit at 5,000. I'm going to count it at 5,000 going once. Now at 5,000 going twice. Real done. No bit favor warning. I'm going to set it now at 5,000. So at 5,000 telephone speed. 804. Thank you very much. 804. Now we move to level 33. It's arranging the hair by partly. I would like to start from 34. At 34 now. Now at 34. I'm looking for 34. At 34. Thank you. Now at 34. On telephone speed at 34. Looking for 36 for the next bit. Now at 34. At 34 now. Now at 34. At 34 now. I'm looking for 36 for the next bit. Now at 34 on telephone speed. 36. Thank you. Now 36 on internet bit at 36 now. Telephone speed to get you now. Now at 36 on internet bit at 36. I'm looking for 38 for the next bit. At 36 now. 38. Thank you. Now at 38. At 38 now. Now 38. Back to telephone bit at 38. At 38 now. Now 38. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bit. Now 38. 4,000. Thank you. Now 4,000 on internet bit at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now at 4,000. At 4,000. 42. Thank you. Now 42. At 42 now. Now at 42. At 42 now. Now at 42, I'm looking for 44. 44. Thank you. Now at 44. Internet page at 44. At 44 now. Now at 44. 46. Thank you. Now at 46. At 46 now. Now at 46. 48. Thank you. Now at 48. Back to internet page at 48. I'm looking for 5. Thank you. Now at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. At 5,000. I'm looking for 5 for the next bit. Now at 5,000. 5. Thank you. Now at 5. Can you hear on telephone speed at 5. At 5 now. Now at 5. At 5 now. Previous telephone speed is against you now. Now at 5. I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bit. 6. Thank you. Now at 6,000. Back to internet bit at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. At 6,000. Telephone speed is against you both now. Now at 6,000 on internet bit. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. I'm looking for 6.5 for the next bit. At 6,000 now. Well done. Norway, I'm going to count it at 6,000 going once. Now at 6,000 going twice. Real done. Norway, I'm going to send it out 6,000. So that's 6,000 to internet pay. Thank you. Congratulations at 6,000. Now we move to level 34. Level 34 is Barra stand by new major. Level 34, I would like to start from 10,000 at 10,000 now. Now I'm looking for 10,000 at 10,000. Now I'm looking for 10,000 for level 34 at 10,000. At 10,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 10,000 for level 34 at 10,000. At 10,000. For level 34 by Nyoman Major at 10,000. At 10,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 10,000 at 10,000. Now I'm still looking for 10,000. At 10,000 now. Real done. Orbit at 10,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 35. Number 35, the flowers in the garden by R. Smith. Number 35, I would like to start from 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now I'm looking for 5,000. At 5,000. Now at 5,000. At 5,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 5,000. At 5,000. For number 35 by R. Smith at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 5,000. At 5,000 now. Real done. Orbit at 5,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 36. Lot number 36. It's a Spartan Dynamic by Hendra. The current bid is at 2.8 on internet bid at 2.8 now. Now 2.8 at 2.8 at 2.8 now on internet bid at 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid at 2.8. Now at 2.8 at 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2.8 on internet bid at 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid at 2.8 now. Now 2.8. Anyone want to be more in 2,800? Now 2.8 at 2.8 now. A real done. Not a bit fair warning. I'm going to now at 2.8. So 2,800 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 2.8. Now we move to lot number 37. It's a diagonal by Hendra. The current bid is 1.5 on internet bid at 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5. Now at 1.5. Anyone? Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. 1.6. Thank you. Now at 1.6. On telephone bid at 1.6. At 1.6 now. Internet bid it's against you now. I'm back to you now. Now at 1.6. On telephone bid at 1.6. I'm here for 1.7 for the next bid. At 1.6 now. Now at 1.6. At 1.6 now. 1.7. Thank you. Now at 1.7. At 1.7 now. Now at 1.7. Back to internet bid at 1.7. At 1.7 now. Telephone bid it's against you now. I'm back to you now at 1.7. On internet bid at 1.7. At 1.7 now. At 1.7. At 1.7 now. 1.8. Thank you now at 1.8. On internet bid at 1.8. Back to previous bidder at 1.8. At 1.8 now. At 1.8. Internet bid and telephone bid indication polls now. Now at 1.8. Make for 1.9 for the next bid. Now at 1.8. At 1.8 now. Now at 1.8. At 1.8 now. A real done. No bid. I'm going to count it 1,800 waiting once. Now at 1.8 going twice. A real done. No bid. Fair warning. I'm going to now at 1.8. So 1.8 to internet bids. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.8. Now we move to number 38. It's a keep balance by Ready Guardian. I would like to start from 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2 now. Now 2.2. I'm looking for 2.2 at 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2 at 2,200 for level 38 by Ready Guardian at 2.2 at 2.2 now. A real done. Another bid at 2,200. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 39. Level 39. It's a teamwork by Ready Guardian. I would like to start from 2.8. 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm looking for 2.8 at 2,800 at 2.8 at 2,800. Now I'm still looking for 2.8 at 2.8. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2,800 for number 39 at 2.8 at 2,800 at 2.8. I'm still looking for 2.8. Real done. Another bit at 2.8. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 40. Number 40 is a Rolex Speedwheeler. I would like to start from 13,000 at 13. At 13 now. Now I'm looking for 13,000 at 13. Now I'm selecting for 13. 13. Thank you now. 13. Morning at 13. At 13,000 now. Now 13. I'm looking for 14,000 for the next page. Now 13. At 13 now. Now 13,000. 14. Thank you now. 14. Telephone page at 14. At 14 now. Internet page attention now. I'm back to you. Now 14. I'm looking for 15,000 for the next page. Now at 14. At 14,000. Now at 14. 15. Thank you now at 15. Back to bid 15,000. At 15 now. Now 15. At 15,000. I'm looking for 16,000. Now 15. At 15,000 now. Now 15,000. Real bad. No, at 15,000. We're going to call it at 15,000 going once. Now 15,000 going twice. Real bad. Now at fair warning. I'm going to set out 15,000. So 15,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 15,000. Now we move to level 41. Level 41 is a rock Batman. I would like to start from 15,000 at 15. Now we get 15,000 at 15,000. Now I'm looking for 15,000 at 15,000. 15, thank you very much. Now at 15 at 15,000 now. Now at 15 on telephone page at 15,000. Now 15. I'm looking for 16,000 for the next page. Now at 15,000 on telephone page at 15,000. At 15,000 now. Anyone want to be more than 15,000? At 15,000 now. All right, done. Normal fair warning. I'm getting now at 15,000. So at 15,893. Thank you very much. 893. Now we move to level 42. Level 42. It's guarded by mules by Terminator. The current is the 5.5 on internet bid at 5.5 now. Now at 5.5 I'm looking for 6,000. Now at 5.5. 6,000. Thank you. Now at 6,000 on telephone bid at 6,000. Internet bid education. Now I'm back to you. Now at 6,000 on telephone bid at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. Looking for 6.5 for the bid. Now at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. I'm looking for 6.5. Thank you very much. Now at 6.5 for your telephone bid at 6.5. Now at 6.5. At 6.5 now. Previous telephone bid is education now. I'm back to you now at 6.5. 6.8. Thank you. Now at 6.8. At 6.8 now. Now at 6.8. At 6.8 now. I'm looking for 7,000 for the next bid. Now at 6.8. At 6.8 now. Now at 6.8. At 6,800. I real out. Normal bid. I'm going to call it at 6,800 going once. Now at 6,800 going twice. I real done. Normal bid fair warning. I'm going to now at 6.8. So at 6,800 to telephone bid 746. Thank you very much. 746. Now we move to level 43. It's Matador by Amidahalan. Level 43, the current bid is at 10,000 on internet bid at 10,000 now. Now 10,000. I'm looking for 11,000 for the next bid. Now at 10,000. At 10,000 now. Now at 10,000. At 10,000 now. Now at 10,000. I'm looking for 11,000 for the next bid. At 10,000 now. Now 10,000. At 10,000 now. On internet bid at 10,000. At 10,000 now. Real done. No bid fair warning. You get it out. It's 11. Now it's 11,000. 11. 11,000 now. New bidder on internet bid at 11,000. 11,000 now. Previous internet bid. It's against you now. I'm back to you now at 11,000. I'm looking for 12,000 for the next bid. Now it's 11. 11,000 now. Now it's 11. 11,000 now. Now to 11,000 for 12,000 for the bid. 12. Thank you. Now 12,000. Back to previous bidder at 12,000. At 12,000 now. Now 12,000. At 12,000 now. I'm looking for 13,000 for the bid. Now 12,000. At 12,000 now. Now 12,000. At 12,000 now. A real done. No bid. I'm going to count it at 12,000 going once. 13. Now 13,000. At 13,000 now. Now 13. At 13,000. Now 13,000. Now 13. At 13,000 now. I'm looking for 14,000. At 13,000. Now 13,000. A real done. Norbit, I'm going to count 13,000 going once. Now 13,000 going twice. A real done. Norbit, pay one. I'm going to now 13,000. So 13,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 13,000. Now we move to lot number 44. It's a mountain landscape by Rocky D. I would like to start from 2-2 at 2-2 now. Now 2-2. I'm looking for 2,200 at 2-2. At 2-2 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 2,200 for lot number 44 by Rocky D at 2-2. At 2-2 now. Now I'm looking for 2,200 at 2-2. At 2,200. At 2-2 now. Roll done. Number bid at 2,200. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 45. Number 45 is a dynamic of space by Frederick Siddick. The current bid is at 2.6 on internet bid at 2.6 now. Now at 2.6. At 2.6 now. Now at 2.6. At 2.6 now on internet bid at 2.6. I'm looking for 2.8 for the bid. Now at 2.6. At 2.6 now. Now at 2.6. At 2.6 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 2.8 for the next bid. At 2.6 now on internet bid at 2.6. At 2.6 now. Real done. Number bid pay warning. I'm gonna select now at 2.6. So at 2.6 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 2.6. Now we move to lot number 46. Number 46 is a CEO of herself by Ivan Peter. The current bid is at 7,000 on internet at 7,000 now. Now at 7,000, I'm looking for 7.5. Thank you. Now at 7.5. I'm sorry, internet bid 7.5 already taken by telephone bid. Thank you. Now at 7.5 on telephone bid at 7.5. 8. Now at 8,000. Back to internet bid at 8,000. At 8,000. Now at 8,000. I'm looking for 8.5 for the next bid. Now at 8,000. At 8,000 now. 8.5. Thank you very much. Now at 8.5. Back to telephone bid at 8.5. At 8.5 now. Now at 8.5. At 8.5 now. Now at 8.5. Back to telephone bid at 8.5. At 8.5 now. Internet bid attention now. I'm back to you now at 8.5. For 9,000 for the next bid. Now at 8.5. At 8.5 now. Real done. Norbit, I'm going to count it at 8,500 going once. Now at 8.5 going twice. Real done. Norbit, I'm going to set it now at 8.5. So at 8,500, 768. Thank you very much. 768. Now we move to lot 47. Number 47 is a street vendors. By losing control, number 47, I would like to start from 2.8 at 2.8 at 2,800. Now 2.8, for 2.8 now at 2.8 at 2,800 at 2.8. Now I'm still looking for 2,800 at 2.8 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2.8. 2.8. Thank you very much. Now 2.8. Telephone speed at 2.8 now. Now at 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now at 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now at 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000. At 2.8 now. Anyone want to bet more than 2.8? At 2.8 now. A riddle that number fair warning. I'm gonna set it now at 2,800. So the 2,800 819. Thank you very much. 819. Now we move to level 48. It's a torso ring on top in. Level 48. The current bid is a 41 internet bid at 42 now. Now at 42. I'm looking for 44 for the next bid. Now at 42. At 44. Thank you. Now at 44. New bidder on internet bid at 44. At 44 now. Previous internet bid. It's against you now. I'm back to you now at 44. I'm looking for 46 for the next bid. Now at 44. At 44 now. Now at 44. At 44 now. At 4,400. Now at 44. I'm looking for 46 for the next bid. At 44 now. Now at 44. Real done. 46. Thank you. Now at 46. At 46 now. Now at 46. At 46 now. Now at 46. I'm looking for 48 for the next bid. Now at 46. At 46 now. Now at 46. Real done. No bid. I'm going to count it at 448. Now at 48. At 48 now. I'm looking for 5,000 for the next bid. Now at 48. At 48 now. Now at 48, I'm looking for 5,000 for the next bid. 5. Thank you. Now at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now at 5. At 5,000. Now at 5,000, I'm looking for 5,500 for the next bid. Now at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Well done. No bid at 5,000. I'm going to count it at 5,000 going once. Now at 5,000 going twice. Well done. No bid. I'm going to set it now at 5,000. So 5,000 to bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 5,000. Now we move to lot number 49. Number 49 is in the Baltic Artisan by Barlis Smita. Number 49. I would like to start from 36 at 36 now. Now move for 36 at 36 at 3,600. Now move for 36 at 36 now. Now I'm still looking for 36, 36. Thank you. Now 36 on telephone page at 36. At 36 now. I'm looking for 38 for the next bit. Now 36. At 36 now. Now 36. I'm looking for 38 for the next bit. At 36 now. Now at 36. At 36 now. A real done. Lower bit favor. I'm going to set it now at 3,600. 37. 37. Thank you. Now 37. At 37 now. Now at 37. At 37. At 37. Now at 37. 38. Thank you. Now 38. Back to previous period at 38. At 38 now. Now 38. At 38 now. 39. Now 39. At 39 now. Now 39. Move for 4,000 for the next bit. 4,000. Thank you. Now 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now at 4,000. I'm looking for 4 for the next bit. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Real done. No bit. I'm going to count it at 4,000 once. Now 2,000 going twice. Real done. No bit. I'm going to set it now at 4,000. So that's 4,000. 729. Thank you very much. 729. Now we move to level 50. It's a leather farmer. Barlis Metavinata. Level 50. I would like to start from 1, 2 at 1,200. 1, 2 now. Now at 1, 2. I'm looking for 1, 2 at 1,200. 81. Now I'm looking for 1, 2 for level 50 by Barlis Metavinata at 1, 2 at 1,200. At 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. A real bad. Norway at 1,200. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 51. Number 51 is a Twilight Penalakan Kitamani Bali. Number 51 by Agung Mamaputra. The current bid is a 3-4 on internet bid at 3-4 now. Now 3-4 at 3-4 now. I'm looking for 3-6 for the next bid. Now 3-4 at 3-4 now. 3-6. Thank you. Now 3-6 On telephone speed at 3.8. Back to internet speed at 3.8. At 3.8 now. Now at 3.8. At 3.8 now. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bit. At 3.8 now. 4,000. Thank you. Now at 4,000. Back to telephone speed at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Internet bit again now. Now at 4,000. On telephone speed at 4,000. I'm looking for the next bit. Now at 4,000 on telephone speed at 4,000. Now at 4,000 and 4,000 now. Real done. Now I'm going to count it 4,000 going once. Now at 4,000 going twice. Real done. Now I'm going to now at 4,000. So at 4,007, 877. Thank you very much. 877. Now we move to level 52. It's a unit by Srihadi. Level 52. I would like to start from 2.6 at 2.6 now. Now I'm looking for 2.6. At 2.6. Now I'm looking for 2.6 at 2,600 for level 52 at 2.6. At 2.6 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 2.6 at 2,600 at 2.6 now. Now I'm looking for 2.6. Real done. No bit at 2.6. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 53. Lot number 53. It's a night market by Srihadi. I would like to start from 1.4. It's 1.4 now. Now at 1.4, I'm looking for 1.4 at 1,400 at 1.4. At 1.4 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1,400 at 1.4. Now I'm looking for 1.4 at 1.4 now. Now I'm looking for 1.4. I really done. Number bid at 1,400. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 54. Number 54 is like the clown at the labyrinth entrance by Dinesh Priya. Number 54, I would like to start from 4.4. At 4.4 now. Now I'm looking for 4.4. At 4,400. At 4.4. Now I'm looking for 4.4. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 4,400 for number 54. 4.4. Thank you. Now at 4.4. On internet page at 4.4. At 4.4 now. Now at 4.4. I'm looking for 4.6 for the next page. Now at 4.4. At 4.4 now. Now at 4.4. I'm looking for 4.6 for the next page. 4.6. Thank you. Now at 4.6 on telephone page at 4.6. At 4.6 now. Now at 4.6. Internet page extension now. I'm back to you now. 4.6. I'm looking for 4.8 for the next page. Now 4.6 on telephone page at 4.6. At 4.6 now. Now at 4.6. I'm looking for 4.8 for the next page. Now at 4.6. At 4.6 now. Now at 4.6. I real that. Now I'm going to count it at 4,600 going once. Now at 4.6 going twice. I real that. Now I'm going to now at 4.6. So at 4.6 to 809. Thank you very much. 809. Now we move to level 55. It's at the icons by the Priya. I would like to start from 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm looking for 2.8. At 2.8. Now I'm looking for 2.8. At 2,800. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 2.8 for level 55. At 2.8. At 2,800. At 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm still looking for 2.8. At 2.8 now. Real done. Norway at 2,800. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 56. Level 56 is a Leopard and Fireflies by Pope Iskandar. I would like to start from 5,000 at 5,000 now. Now at 5,000. At 5,000 now. Now I'm looking for 5,000. At 5,000 for level 56. At 5,000. At 5,000. Now I'm looking for 5,000. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 5,000 for level 56 by Pope Iskandar. At 5,000. Now at 5,000. Real done. Number bid at 5,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 57. Number 57 is an hermit, a rare Himalayan Neuroticus crocodile birkin. For level 57, I would like to start from 110,000 and 110,000. Now I'm looking for 110,000 for number 57 and 110. Now I'm looking for 110 at 110,000 at 110. Now I'm still looking for 110 for number 57 at 110. Now I'm still looking for 110 at 110,000 at 110. Now I'm still looking for 110,000 at 110 now for number 57. I'm still looking for 110 at 110 now. Real that number at 110,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 58. Level 58 as a black lamp related here. Lot number 58. I would like to start from 3-2 at 3-2 now. Now 3-2 at 3-2 at 3-2 now. Now for 3-2 at 3,200. 3-2. Thank you very much. Now 3-2. Telephone speed at 3-2 now. Now 3-2 at 3-2 now. For 3-4 for the next bit. Now at 3-2 on telephone speed at 3-2 now. Now at 3-2 I'm looking for 3-4 for the next bit. Now at 3-2 at 3,200 at 3-2 now. Now at 3-2. Anyone want to be more than 3-2? Now at 3-2 on telephone speed. A real done. Number bit fair warning. I'm gonna set it now at 3-2. So at 3-2 to telephone speed. 7-3-2. Thank you very much. 7-3-2. Now we move to lot number 59. Lot number 59 is a classical genre of play by Mendy. Number 59. I would like to start from 3-8 at 3-8 at 3-8 now. Now 3-8. Now I'm looking for 3,800 at 3-8 at 3-8 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 3-8 for level 59 at 3-8 at 3-8 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 3-8 at 3-8 now. Now I'm looking for 3,800. A real done. Normally 3-8. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 60. Number 60 is the Ramayana story by Kobot. For lot number 60, the current bid is 2-8 at 2-8 now at 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now at 2-8 at 2-8 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000. You bidder on into it at 3,000 now. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3-2 for the next bid. Previous internet bid exchange now. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3-2 for the next bid. Now 3,000 at 3,000. Now 3,000 at 3,000 now. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3-2 for the next bid. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. A real done. 3-2. Thank you. Now 3-2 at 3-2 now. Now 3-2. Back to previous bidder at 3-2 at 3-2 now. I'm looking for 3-4 for the next bid. Now at 3-2 at 3-2 now. Now at 3-2 at 3-2 3-4. Thank you. Now 3-4 at 3-4 now. Now at 3-4 at 3-4 now. Now at 3-4. I'm looking for 3-6 for the next bid. Now at 3-4 at 3-4 now. Now at 3-4. I'm looking for 3-6 for the next bid. Now at 3-4 at 3-4 now. A real done. Your bid at 3-4. I'm gonna count at 3-4 going once. Now 3-4 going twice. A real done. Your bid fair warning. I'm gonna select now 3-4. So at 3,400 bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 3-4. Now we move to level 61. It's a good now by Cobot. I would like the current bid is a 2-8 on internet bid. 2-8 now. Now 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2-8 at 2-8 now. Now 2-8 on internet bid at 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000. 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000. New bidder on internet bid at 3,000. At 3,000. Our previous internet bid. Exchange now. I'm back to you. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3-2 for the next bid. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3-2. Thank you. Now 3-2. At 3-2 now. Back to previous bidder at 3-2. At 3-2 now. Now 3-2. I'm looking for 3-4 for the next bid. Now 3-2. At 3-2 now. Now 3-2. I'm looking for 3-4 for the next bid. Now at 3-2. At 3-2 now. Now 3,200. At 3-2 now. Are real done. No bid. At 3-2, I'm going to count 3,200 going once. Now at 3-2 going twice. Are real done. No bid. Warning. I'm going to set it now 3-2. Sold at 3,200 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations. At 3-2. Now we move to level 62. It's a half by H. Christine. Level 62. I would like to start from 1-2 at 1,200. At 1-2 now. Now I'm selecting for 1-2 at 1,200. At 1-2 now. Anyone? Now I'm selecting for 1,200. At 1-2. Now I'm selecting for 1,200. Level 62. At 1-2. At 1,200. Now at 1-2. Anyone? Now I'm selecting for 1-2. At 1-2 now. A real done. No bid at 1,200. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 63. Number 63 is a Deer Tree and Sun by Suparto. Level 63. I would like to start from 2-2. At 2-2 now. Now I'm looking for 2-2. At 2-2. At 2,200. At 2-2 now. Now at 2-2. I'm still looking for 2-2. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2-2. At 2,200. At 2-2. At 2,200. Now I'm setting 2-2. Thank you. Now 2-2. We're on internet bid at 2-2. At 2-2 now. Now at 2-2. I'm looking for 2-4 for the next bid. Now 2-2. At 2-2 now. I'm looking for 2-4 for the next bid. At 2-2. Now at 2-2. I'm looking for 2-4. 2-4. Thank you. Now 2-4. We're on internet bid at 2-4. Previous internet bid extension. And I'm back to you. Now at 2-4. I'm looking for 2-6 for the next bid. Now at 2-4. At 2-4 now. Now at 2-4. At 2-4 now. Now at 2-4. At 2-4 now. Now at 2-4. I'm looking for 2-6 for the next bid. A real done. No bid. I'm going to count it at 2,400 going once. Now at 2-4 going twice. A real done. No bid. Fair warning. We're going to set that 2-4. So 2,400 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 2-4. Now we move to level 64. It's a seated lady, William Phone. The current bid is to 1-8 on internet bid at 1-8 now. Now at 1-8, I'm looking for 1-9 for the next bid. Now at 1-8. At 1-8 now. Now at 1-8, I'm looking for 1-9 for the next bid. Now at 1-8 on internet bid at 1-8. At 1-8 now. Now at 1-8, I'm looking for 1-9 for the next bid. And one a bit more than 1-8. Now at 1,800 on internet bid at 1-8. At 1-8 now. A real done. No fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 1-8. So at 1,800 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1-8. Now we move to level 65. It's a woman with basket by Lemon Phone. I would like to start from 1-8. At 1-8 now. Now I'm looking for 1-8. At 1,800. At 1-8. Now I'm still looking for 1-8. At 1,800. At 1-8. Now I'm still looking for 1-8 at 1,800 at 1-8. Now I'm still looking for 1-8 at 1-8 now. A real done. Norbit at 1,800. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 66. Number 66 is a primitive statue by Nyoman Masriadi. Level 66. I would like to start from 1-5 at 1-5 now. Now I'm looking for 1-5 at 1-5. Now I'm looking for 1-5. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1-5 for level 66 by Nyoman Masriadi at 1-5. At 1-5. Thank you very much. Now at 1-5 on telephone page at 1-5. At 1-5 now. Now at 1-5 on telephone page at 1-5. I'm looking for 1-6 for the next page. Now at 1-5. At 1-5 now. Now at 1-5. Anyone want to make more than 1-5? Now at 1-5 on telephone 1-6. Thank you. Now at 1-6. You will on internet bits at 1-6. Telephone bits. It's against you now. I'm back to you now at 1-6. I'm looking for 1-7 for the next bit. Now at 1-6. At 1-6 now. Now at 1-6. I'm looking for 1-7. 1-7. Thank you very much. Now at 1-7. Back to telephone bits at 1-7. Internet bid, it's against you now. Now at 1.7. On telephone bid at 1.7. I'm looking for 1.8 for the next bid. Now at 1.7. At 1.7 now. Now at 1.7. On telephone 1.8. Thank you. Now at 1.8. Back to internet bid at 1.8. Now at 1.8. I'm looking for 1.9 for the next bid. Telephone bid is against you now. Now at 1.8 on internet bid at 1.8. 1.9. Thank you very much. Now at 1.9. Now at 1.9. Back to telephone bid at 1.9. At 1,900. At 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000 for the bid. Internet bid indication now. I'm back to you. Now at 1.9 on telephone bid at 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000 for the bid. Now at 1.9. 2,000. Thank you. Now 2,000. At 2,000. Now back to internet bid at 2,000. At 2,000 now. Now at 2,000. At 2,000 now. Now at 2,000. At 2,000 now. Real done. Norway, I'm going to count it. 2,000 going once. Now at 2,000 going twice. Real done. Norway, favorably. I'm going to select now at 2,000. So at 2,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 2,000. Now we move to lot number 67. Lot number 67 is giving the Gusman trick. I would like to start from 1.9 at 1.9. Now I'm looking for 1.9 at 1,900 at 1.9. Now I'm looking for 1.9. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1,900. Lot number 67. 1.9. Thank you very much. Now at 1.9 on Intrepid at 1.9. At 1.9. Now at 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 1.9. At 1,900. Now at 1.9. Anyone want to be more than 1,900? Now at 1.9. Real done. No bid. Fair one. I'm going to select now at 1.9. So 1,900 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.9. Now we move to number 68. It's a Yach Willem Joes. Number 68. The current bid is 1.9 on internet bid is 1.9. Now at 1.9 for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 1.9. At 1.9 now. Now at 1.9 for 2,000. At 1.9. Now at 1,900 on internet bid at 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. At 1.9. Now at 1.9. Anyone want to bid more than 1.9? Real done. No more bid. I'm going to sell it now. 1,900. So at 1,900 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.9. Now we move to lot number 69. This is served by Harbor by Elephant Dose. The current bid is 1.9 on internet bid at 1.9. Now at 1.9, I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 1.9. At 1,900. Now at 1.9. At 1.9, anyone? Now at 1,900. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 1.9 on internet bid at 1.9. At 1,900 now. Real done. No more bid. Fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 1,900. Sold at 1,900 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.9. Now we move to level 70. Level 70 is a bridge in Armowwood by Paul Asner. Level 70. I would like to start from 5.5 at 5.5. Now I'm looking for 5.5 at 5.5. Now I'm still looking for 5.5. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 5,500 for level 70. 5.5. Thank you very much. Now at 5.5 on telephone page at 5.5. At 5.5 now I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5.5. At 5.5 now. Now at 5.5 I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5.5 on telephone bid. 6 on internet bid at 6,000 now. 6.2. Thank you. Now at 6.2. At 6-2 now. On telephone bid at 6-2. Now at 6-2. I'm looking for 6-5 for the next bid. Previous telephone bid and internet bid is against you both now. Now at 6-2. 6-5. Thank you very much. Now at 6-5. Back to previous telephone bid at 6-5. At 6-5 now. Now at 6-5. I'm looking for 7,000 for the next bid. Now at 6-5. 7. Thank you. Now at 7,000. At 7,000 now. Now at 7,000. At 7,000 now. I'm looking for 7.5 for the next bid. 7.2. Thank you. Now at 7.2. At 7.2 now. Now at 7.2. At 7.2 now. Now at 7.2. At 7,200. Now at 7.2. At 7.2 now. Real that more bit. I'm gonna count it at 7,200 going once. Now at 7.2 going twice. Real done. No bit fair warning. I'm gonna say now at 7.2. Sold at 7,200. 715. Thank you very much. 715. Now we move to level 71. 600 and beyond by Paul Lesnar. Level 71, I would like to sell for 5.5 at 5.5 now. Now I'm looking for 5.5 at 5.5 at 5,500. Now I'm still looking for 5.5. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 5.5 for level 70. 5.5. Thank you very much. Now at 5.5 on the internet bid at 5.5 at 5.5 now. Now at 5.5, I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5.5 at 5.5 now. Now at 5.5, I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5.5. 5.7. Thank you. Now at 5.7. At 5.7 now. Now at 5.7. At 5.7. Internet bid, it's against you now. Now at 5.7. At 5.7 now. I'm looking for 6,000 for the next bid. Now at 5.7. 6,000. Thank you. Now at 6,000. Back to internet bid at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now at 6,000. On internet bid at 6,000. Now at 6,000. Back to internet bid at 6,000. Real done. More bid. I'm going to count it at 6,000 going once. Now at 6,000 going twice. Real done. No bid. Fair warning. I'm going to now 6,000. Sold at 6,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 6,000. Now we move to level 72. Level 72, it's prominent temple by Gregory Data. Level 72, current is a 2-2 on internet bid at 2-2 now. Now 2-2, I'm looking for 2-4 for the next bid. Now 2-2. At 2-2 now on internet bid at 2-2. 2-4, thank you. Now 2-4. Leader on internet bid at 2-4. Now 2-4. Previous internet bid at against you now. Now 2-4, I'm looking for 2-6 for the next bid. Now 2-4. At 2-4 now. 2-6, thank you. Now 2-6. Back to previous bidder at 2-6. At 2-6 now. Now at 2.6. I'm looking for 2.8 for the next bid. Now at 2.6. At 2.6 now. Now at 2.6. I'm looking for 2.8 for the next bid. Now at 2.6. At 2,600. Now at 2.6. Anyone want to make more than 2,600? At 2.6. 2.8. Thank you. Now 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now at 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now at 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now 2.8. Real done. More bit at 2,800. I'm going to cut it 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now at 3. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000 for 3.2 for the next bit. Now at 3,000. At 3,000 now. Real done. More bit at 3,000. I'm going to count it at 3,000 going once. Now at 3,000 going twice. Real done. No bit. I'm going to set now 3,000. Sold at 3,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 3,000. Now we move to level 73. It's the answer by Gregory Siddhartha. The current bid is a 2-2 on internet bid at 2-2 now. Now 2-2. I'm looking for 2-4 for the next bid. Now 2-2. At 2-2 now. 2-4. Thank you. Now 2-4. At 2-4 now. Now at 2-4. I'm looking for 2-6 for the next bid. Now at 2-4. Previous internet bid. It's now. Now at 2-4. I'm looking for 2-6 for the next bid. Now at 2-4. At 2-4 now. Now at 2-4. 2-6. Thank you. Now at 2-6. At 2-6 now. Now at 2-6. Now at 2,600. At 2-6 now. Back to previous bidder at 2-6. I'm looking for 2-8 for the next bid. Now at 2-8. 2-6. At 2-6 now. Now at 2-6. I'm looking for 2-8 for the next bid. Now at 2-6. At 2-6 now. Well done. No bit at 2-6. I'm going to count at 2-6 going once. Now at 2-6. 2-8. Thank you. Now 2-8. At 2-8 now. Now at 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now at 2-8. At 2-8 now. Now at 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. At 2-8 now. Well done. No bit at 2-8. I'm going to count at 2-8 going one. Now 2-8 going twice. I rolled a number bit everyone. I'm going to say now 2-8. Sold at 2,800 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 2-8. About 74. So Frank Buller's Fungler. I would like to start from 4-4. It's 4-4 now. Now I'm looking for 4-4. 4,400. Now at 4-4. I'm looking for 4-4. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 4,400 for number 7444. Thank you. Now at 44 on the internet bid at 44 now. Now at 44. At 44 now. I'm looking for 46 for the next bid. Now at 44. At 44 now. Now at 44. At 4,400. Now at 44. Anyone? Now at 44 on the internet bid. I'm looking for 46 for the next bid. 46. Now at 46. At 46 now. Now at 4-6. Previous internet bid is changed now. Now at 4-6. I'm looking for 4-8 for the bid. Now at 4-6. At 4-6 now. Now at 4-6. I'm looking for 4-8 for the next bid. Now at 4-6, 4-8. Now at 4-8. Back to previous bidder at 4-8. At 4-8 now. Now at 4-8. I'm looking for 5,000 for the next bid. Now at 4-8. At 4-8 now. Well done. Your bid, I'm going to count at 4,800 going once. Now at 4,800 going twice. Well done. Number bid, fair warning. I'm going to say now 4-8. Sold at 4,800 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 4-8. Now we move to number 75. Number 75 is Tudor Blackberry. I would like to start from 2-8 at 2-8 now. Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2,800 at 2-8. Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2,800. Now I'm still looking for 2-8. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2-8 for level 75 at 2-8 at 2,800. Now 2-8. Thank you. Now 2-8. Internet bid at 2-8 now. Now 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2-8 at 2-8 now. Now 2-8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. At 2-8. Now 2-8. Anyone? What a bit more than 2-8? At 2-8 now. Are we all done? Number bid fair warning. I'm going to say now 2-8. 2-9. Thank you. Now 2-9. Telephone bid at 2-9. At 2-9 now. Now at 2-9. Internet bid education now. I'm back to you now. 2-9 on telephone bid at 2-9. At 2-9 now. Now at 2-9. At 2-9 now. I'm looking for 3,000. Are we all done? No more bid. I'm going to count the 2,900 going once. Now at 2-9 going twice. Are we all done? No more bid. Fair warning. I'm going to say now 2-9. So at 2-9 to 732. Thank you very much. 732. Now we move to level 76. It's Srihadi Soedarsono. The current bid is the 1-6 on internet bid at 1-6 now. Now at 1-6, I'm looking for 1-7 for the next bid. Now at 1-6. At 1-6 now. Now at 1-6, I'm looking for 1-7 for the next bid. Now at 1-6. At 1-6 now. Anyone? One with more than 1-6. Now at 1-6 on the internet bid. At 1-6. At 1-6 now. Now at 1-6. Well done. No bid. At 1-6. I'm fair warning. I'm going to say it now at 1,600. Sold at 1,600 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 16. Now we move to number 77. Number 77 is a Srihadi by Soedarsono. Number 77, I would like to start from 1,000 at 1,000 now. Now at 1,000, I'm looking for 1,000 at 1,000. Now I'm still looking for 1,000, 1,000. Thank you. Now at 1,000 on internet bid at 1,000 now. Now at 1,000, at 1,000 now. I'm looking for 1 for the next bid. Now at 1,000, at 1,000 now. Now at 1,000. Anyone want a bit more than 1,000? Now at 1,000, at 1,000 now. Real done. No bit. Fair warning. I'm getting now at 1,000. Sold at 1,200 bid. Congratulations at 1,000. Now we move to number 78. Number 78 is Indonesian Village by Berlin. Number 78, I would like to start from 19 at 1,900 and 19. Now I'm looking for 19 at 19. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1,900 at 19 at 1,900. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1,900. So number 78 by Berlin at 19 at 1,900. Real done. No bid at 1,900. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 79. Lot number 79 is a boat by the lake by Ireland. 79. I would like to start from 22 at 22 now. Now 22. I'm 2,200 at 22. Now I'm still looking for 22. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2,200 at 22 now. Now I'm still looking for 22 at 22 now. Any telephone speed? Now I'm still looking for 22. 22. Thank you very much. Now 22 at 22 now on telephone speed. Now a 22. I'm looking for 24 for the next bit. Now a 22. And telephone speed at 22. At 22 now. Anyone want it more than 22? A real done. No more bit. Fair warning. I'm going to select now at 2,200. Sold at 2,200 to 819. Thank you very much. 819. Now we move to level 80. Level 80 is a carrying offering by Nash Jamin. Level 80. I would like to start from 26 at 26 now. Now I'm looking for 26 at 26. At 26. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 26 for level 80 at 2,600. At 26. 26. Thank you very much. Now 26 on internet bid at 26. At 26 now. Now at 26. On internet bid at 26. At 26 now. I'm looking for 28 for this bid. Now at 26. 28. Thank you very much. Now at 28 on telephone bid at 28. At 28 now. Now at 28. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Internet bid, it's changed now. I'm back to you now at 28. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. At 28 now. Now at 28. Real done. No more bid. I'm going to count to 2,800 going once. Now 2,800 going twice. Real done. No more bid. Fair warning. I'm going to send now 28. So the 2,800 726. Thank you very much. 726. Now we move to level 81 as a toast by Spariski. Level number 81. I would like to start from 44 at 44 at 4,400. Now I'm looking for 44 for level 81 at 44. Now I'm looking for 44. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 4,400 at 44. Now I'm still looking for 44 at 4,400. 44. Thank you very much. Now 44 on internet bit at 44 now. Now at 44. I'm looking for 46 for the next bit. Now at 44. At 44 now. Now at 44. I'm looking for 46 for the next bit. Now at 44 on the internet bit at 44. At 44 now. Anyone? What a bit more than 44? At 44 now. Are real done. Number bit fair warning. I'm going to send it now at 4,400. So at 4,400 to internet bit. Thank you. Congratulations at 44. Now we move to level 82. It's a co-market by Tuchai. Level 82, I would like to start with 19 at 19. Now I'm looking for 1,900. 19 at 1,900. Now I'm still looking for 19 for level 82 at 19. Now I'm still looking for 19. There's telephone speed. You get disconnect. Now I'm still looking for 1,900. Followed by the 82 at 19. Now I'm still looking for 1,900 at 19. I'm still looking for 1,900. A real done. More bit at 1,900. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 83. Level 83 is sexy by Ibn Robanto. Level 83. The current bit is at 26 only. Internet bit at 26 now. Now 26. I'm looking for 28 for the 28. Thank you very much. Now 28. Telephone speed at 28. At 28 now. Now 28. Internet bit is against you now. Now at 28. On telephone speed at 28. At 28 now. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bit. Now 28. At 28 now. 3,000. Now 3,000. New telephone speed at 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. 3,2. Thank you. Now 3,2. Can you change it to 3,2, please? Now 3,2. Thank you very much. Now 3,2. At 3,2 now. Now 3,2. On telephone speed at 3,2. 3,4. Thank you. Now 3,4. At 3,4 now. Now 3,4. At 3,4 now. Now 3,4. I'm looking for 3,6 for the next bit. Now 3,4. At 3,4 now. Now at 3,4. I'm looking for 3,6 for the next bit. At 3,4 now. Now 3,4. At 3,4 now. A real done. More bit. I'm gonna count it at 3,400 going once. Now 3,400 going twice. A real done. No bit. Fair warning. I'm gonna say now 3,4. So the 3,407.63. Thank you very much. 763. Now we move to level 84. Level 84 is shaped by Rusley. I would like to start from 1,5. At 1,5. At 1,5. Now I'm still looking for 1,5 for level 84. 1,5. Thank you very much. Now at 1,5. At 1,5 now. Now at 1,5. At 1,5. On telephone speed at 1,5. At 1,5 now. Now at 1,5. I'm looking for 1,6 for the next bit. Now at 1,5. At 1,6. Thank you very much. Now at 1,6. At 1,6 now. Now at 1,6. At 1,6 now. I'm looking for 1,7 for the next bit. Now at 1,6. 1,7. Thank you very much. Now at 1,7. At 1,7. At 1,7 now. Now at 1,7. At 1,7 now. I'm looking for 1,8 for the next bit. At 1,7. Now at 1,7. I'm looking for 1,8 for the next bit. A real done. No bit at 1,7. I'm gonna count it at 1,7. 1,8. Thank you very much. Now at 1,8. At 1,8 now. Now at 1,8. At 1,8 now. Thank you very much. Now at 1,8. 1,9. Thank you very much. Now at 1,9. At 1,9. Now at 1,9. At 1,900. Looking for 2,000 for the next bit. At 1,9. Now at 1,900. Well done. More bit. I'm gonna count it at 1,900 going once. Now at 1,900 going twice. Well done. No more bit. Fair warning. I'm gonna select now the 1,9. So at 1,900 to 784. Thank you very much. 784. Now we move to level 85. Level 85, it's a flip-flop episode by Ivan Sagita. I would like to start from 1,000 at 1,000. Now I'm looking for 1,000 at 1,000. Now I'm still looking for 1,000 at 1,001. Now I'm looking for 1,085 by Ipusagita at 1,000. Now I'm looking for 1,000 at 1,000 now. Now I'm still looking for 1,085 at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Real done. Norbit at 1,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 86. It's a pair of fish by Del Putumoko. Level 86. I would like to start from 500 and 500 now. Now at 500. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500 for level 86 at 500. 500. Thank you very much. Now at 500. At 500 now. Telephone page at 500. At 500 now. I'm looking for 550 for the next page. Now at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500, I'm looking for 550 for the next page. Now at 500. At 500 now. Anyone want a bit more than 500? Now at 500. At 500 now. Real done. More a bit fair warning. I'm going to now at 500. Sort at 500 to 804. Thank you very much. 804. Now we move to level 87. Level 87 is carrying the funeral tower. Nyoman Daging. I would like to start from 22 at 22 now. Now I'm looking for 22 at 2,200 at 22. Now I'm looking for 22 at 2,200 at 22 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 22. Thank you very much. Now 22 on internet. We're at 22 now. Now at 22 at 22 now. Now at 22 at 22 now. I'm looking for 24 for the next page. Now at 22 at 2,200. Now at 22. Anyone want a bit more than 2,200? Now at 22. Real done. No more bit fair warning. I'm going to now at 2,200. Sold at 2,200 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 22. Now we move to look number 80. It's Abba Family by Teacher. Look about 88. I would like to start from 3-4. 3-4 now. Now at 3-4. Now I'm looking for 3-4. At 3-4 now. Now at 3-4. I'm looking for 3-4. For the 88. At 3-4. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 3-4. At 3-4 now. Now I'm still looking for 3-4 for number 88 at 3-4. At 3-4 now. Now I'm still looking for 3-4. At 3-4 now. Real done. More of it. 3-4. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 89. Number 89. It's a Matsuri by Hendra Gunawan. Number 89. I would like to start from 2-8 at 2-8 now. Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2-8 at 2,800 at 2-8 at 2-8 now. Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2,800. Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2-8 now. What about 89 at 2-8? Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2-8. Now I'm looking for 2-8 at 2-8 now. Real number bid at 2,800. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 90. Number 90. It's a Louis Vuitton and black lambskin. Number 90. I would like to start from 3-6 at 3-6. Now I'm looking for 3,600. 3-6 at 3-6. Now I'm looking for 3-6. For number 90 at 3-6. Thank you. Now 3-6 on internet at 3-6 now. Now 3-6. I'm looking for 3-8 for the next. Now 3-6 at 3-6 now. Now 3-6. I'm looking for 3-8 for the next page. At 3-6 now. Anyone want a bit more than 3-6? Now 3-6 on internet bid 3-7. Thank you. Now 3-7. Telephone bid at 3-7. At 3-7. Internet bid indicates you now. I'm back to you now at 3-7. I'm looking for 3-8 for the next page. At 3-7. Now 3-7. I'm looking for 3-8 for the next page. At 3-7. Now 3-7. At 3-7 now. Now 3-7. I'm looking for 3-8 for the next page. Anyone want a bit more than 3-8? 3-7. Internet notification now. I'm back to you now at 3-7 on telephone page at 3-7. At 3-7 now. Now 3-7. At 3-7 now. Real no bit at 3-7. I'm going to count it at 3,700 going once. Now 3-7 going 3-8. Thank you. Now 3-8 at 38 now. Now 38. Give your own telephone speed at 38. At 38. At 38 now. Now 38. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bit. Now 38. At 38 now. Well done. Normal bid at 38. I'm going to call it at 3,800 going once. Now 38 going twice. Well done. Normal bid fair warning. I'm going to sell it now 38. So 3,800. 891. Thank you very much. 891. Now we move to level 91. It's a Louis Vuitton monogram back mini with gold hardware. I would like to start from 1.5 at 1.5 now. Now I'm looking for 1.5. Thank you. Now at 1.5. My telephone speed at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. I'm looking for 1.6 for that speed. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. I'm looking for 1.6 for the speed. At 1.5 now. Anyone? Now at 1.5. I'm looking for 1.6 for the speed. At 1.5 now. A real one. No repeat. Fair warning, I'm going to send it now at 1.6. Thank you. Now at 1.6. At 1.6 now. You're on internet bid at 1.6. At 1.6 now. Telephone speed against you now. I'm back to you now at 1.6. On internet bid at 1.6. At 1.6 now. Now at 1.6. I'm looking for 1.7 for the bid. Now at 1.6. At 1.6 now. Now at 1.6. I'm looking for 1.7 for the bid. At 1.6 now. Well done. Normal bid at 1.6. I'm going to call it at 1,600 going once. Now at 1.6 going twice. Well done. Normal bid rewarding. I'm going to send out 1.6. So that 1.6 to internet bid and congratulations at 1.6. Now we move to 92. With 92 is harvesting alang-alang by recent result. With 92. I would like to start from 2,000. 2.2 at 2.2 now. Now at 2.2, I'm looking for 2.2 at 2,200. Now I'm looking for 2.2 for level 92 at 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 2.2 for level 92 at 2.2 at 2.2 now. Well done. Norbit at 2.2. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 93. Level 93. That's a busy harbor, but that's a free tool. Number 93, I would like to start from 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2 now. Now at 2.2. At 2.2. Now I'm looking for 2,200 to number 93 at 2.2 at 2,200. Now I'm looking for 2.2 for number 93 by Lucid Tool at 2.2 at 2,200 at 2.2 now. A real done. Number at 2,200. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 94. Number 94 is a geometry of musical instrument by Hendra. The current bid is a 3.4 on the internet bid at 3.4 now. Now at 3.4, I'm looking for 3.6 for the next bid. Now at 3.4, 3.6. Thank you. Now at 3.6. You are on internet bid at 3.6 now. Now at 3.6. Previous internet bid at attention now. I'm back to you now at 3.6. I'm looking for 3.8 for the next bid. Now at 3.6. At 3.6 now. Now at 3.8. Thank you. Now at 3.8. Back to previous year at 3.8. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bid. Now 3.8. At 3.8 now. Now 3.8. At 3.8 now. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bid. At 3.8. Now at 3.8. Real done. Number bid at 3,800. I'm going to count it at 3.8 going once. 4,000. Thank you. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. I'm looking for 4.2 for the next bid. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now, 4.2. Thank you. Now at 4.2. At 4.2 now. Now at 4.2. At 4.2 now. Now at 4.2. I'm making 4.4 for the next bid. Now at 4.2. At 4.2 now. Now at 4.2. I'm making 4.4 for the next bid. I'm real done. No bid at 4.2. I'm going to count it at 4,200 going once. 4.4. Thank you. Now at 4.4. At 4.4 now. Now at 4.4. At 4.4 now. I'm making 4.6 for the next bid. At 4.4. Now at 4.4. At 4.4 now. Real done. Norbit. I'm going to count it 4.4 going once. Now at 4.4 going twice. Real done. Norbit. I'm going to send now at 4.4. So at 4,400 in the bid. Thank you. Rotation at 4.4. Now we move to number 95. It's the geometry of cityscape by Hendra. Number 95. The current bid is a 280. Only internet bid at 280 now. Now 280. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 3,000. Now 3,000. At 3,000. Our previous internet bid education. Now I'm back to you now at 3,000. I'm looking for 3,2 for the next bid. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. Looking for 3,2 for the next bid. 3,2. Thank you. Now 3,2. At 3,2 now. Now 3,2. At 3,2 now. I'm looking for 3,4 for the next bid. Now 3,2. At 3,2 now. Now at 3,2, I'm looking for 3,4 for the next bid. At 3,2 now. Anyone want a bit more than 3,2? 3,4, 3,4. Thank you. Now at 3,4. At 3,4 now. Now at 3,4, I'm looking for 3,6 for the next bid. Now 3,4. At 3,6. Thank you. Now 3,6. At 3,6 now. Now 3,6. I'm looking for 3,8 for the next bid. Now 3,6. At 3,6 now. Now 3,6. At 3,6 now. Anyone? Now 3,6. I'm looking for 3,8 for the next bid. 3,8 now. At 3,8. At 3,8 now. Now 3,8. I'm looking for 4,000 for the next bid. Now 3,8. 4,000. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now 4,000. I'm looking for 4,2 for the next bid. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now at 4,000. At 4,000 now. Now at 4,000. Real done. No bit at 4,000. I'm going to count it at 4,000 going once. Now at 4,000 going twice. Real done. No bit. I'm going to start at 4,000. So at 4,000 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 4,000. Now we move to number 96 by everyone. It's a Lake-Toba by everyone. I would like to start from 800 at 800 now. Now at 800, I'm looking for 800. At 800. Now I'm looking for 800. 800, thank you very much. Now at 800, I'm looking for 850 for the next bid. Now at 800, on telephone bid at 800. At 800 now on telephone bid. At 800. Now at 800 on telephone bid. 850, thank you. Now at 850. At 850 now. Now at 850, I'm looking for 900 for the next bid. Now 850. 900, thank you. Now at 900. At 900 now. Now at 900. I'm looking for 950 for the next bid. Now at 900. At 900 now. Now at 900. At 900 now. I'm looking for 950 for the next bid. 950, thank you. Now at 950. At 950 now. Now at 950. I'm looking for 1,000 for the next bid. Now at 950. At 1,000. Thank you. Now at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now at 1,000, I'm looking for 1,1 for the next bid. Now at 1,000. 1,1. Thank you. Now at 1,1. At 1,1. Now at 1,1. I'm looking for 1,2 for the next bid. Now at 1,1. At 1,1. Now at 1,1. At 1,100 on telephone speed. At 1,1. I'm looking for 1,2 for the next bid. Now at 1,1. Real done. Lower bid at 1,1. I'm getting colored at 1,100 going once. Now at 1,1 going twice. Real done. Lower bid favor warning. I'm giving it now at 1,1. Suit at 1,1,891. Thank you very much. 8,191. Now we move to level 97. Level 97 is David 3 by Sum. I would like to start from 19 and 19. Now I'm looking for 19 at 1,900. Now I'm looking for 19 at 19. Now I'm looking for 19 at 1,900 at 19. Now I'm still looking for 19 for level 97 by Sum at 19 at 1,900. I'm still looking for 19. Real done. Lower bid at 1,900. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 98. Level 98. More abstract by the Srihadi Soedarsono. Level 98. I would like to start from 19 at 19. Now I'm looking for 19 at 1,900. 19. I'm looking for 19 from 98 at 19. At 19. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1,900. Level 98 at 19. At 19 now. Well done. Now a bit at 1,900. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 99. Number 99 is going to market by Ahmad Sadali. Number 99, I would like to start from 900 and 900 now. Now at 900. At 900, I'm looking for 900. Number 99, I'm looking for 900. At 900, now I'm still looking for 900 for number 99 by Ahmad Sadali. At 900, and one, now I'm still looking for 900. At 900 now, well done. Number bid at 900. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 100. Level 100, it's landscape by Ernest Essential. I would like to start with 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1, 2. At 1,200 at 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1, 2 for level 100 by Ernest Essential. At 1, 2. 1, 2. Thank you. Now at 1, 2. On the internet bid at 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Now at 1, 2. I'm looking for 1, 3 for the next bid. Now at 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Anyone want more than 1, 2? Now at 1, 3. Thank you. Now at 1, 3. On telephone speed at 1, 3. 1, 3 now. It's against you now. I'm back to you now at 1, 3. On telephone speed, I'm looking for 1, 4. 1, 4. Thank you now at 1, 4. Back to internet bid at 1, 4. I'm looking for 1, 5 for the speed. Telephone speed, it's against you now. I'm back to you now at 1, 4. On internet bid 1, 5. Thank you now at 1, 5. At 1, 5 now. At 1, 5 on telephone speed at 1, 5. At 1, 5 now. Now at 1, 5 on telephone speed at 1, 5. 1, 5 already taken by telephone speed, please. Thank you. Now at 1, 5. I'm looking for 1, 6 for the next bit. Now at 1, 5. At 1, 5 now. 1, 6. Thank you. Now at 1, 6. At 1, 6 now. Now at 1, 6. At 1, 6 now. Now at 1, 6. Back to internet bit 1, 6. I'm looking for 1, 7 for the next bit. Now at 1, 6. At 1, 6 now. Real done. Another bit. I'm going to come at 1, 6 going once. Now at 1, 6 going twice. Real done. Another bit. Fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 1, 6. So at 1, 6 to internet bits. Thank you. Congratulations at 1, 6. Now we move to 101. It's a landscape by 101. I would like to start from 600 at 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. I'm looking for 600. At 600 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 600 for level 600. Thank you. Now at 600. On internet bit at 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. I'm looking for 650 for the next bit. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. Now at 600 on internet bit at 600 now. Or real done. With fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 600. So at 600 to internet bit. Take your congratulations at 600. Now we move to level 102. It's a room by Cardinal Europe. Level 102. I would like to start from 600 at 600 now. Now I'm looking for 600 at 600 now. Now at 600. Now I'm looking for 681. Now I'm looking for 600 for level 102 at 600. At 600 now. Now I'm still looking for 600. 81. Now I'm still looking for 600 for level 102 at 600 now. Well done. Norway at 600. Thank you very much. Now move to level 103. Level 103 is a leg vocal by Cardinal Yukusumo. Level 103, I would like to set 600 at 600 now. Now at 600. I'm looking for 600 at 600. Now I'm still looking for 600 for level 103 at 600. At 600 now. 81. Now I'm still looking for 600 at 600 now. Now I'm still looking for 600. Real done. Now a bit at 600. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 104. Level 104 is a pick up by Lucy Artini. Level 104, I would like to set up 800 at 800 now. Now at 800. Now I'm looking for 800. At 800 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 800. Level 104 at 800. Now I'm still looking for 800. At 800 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 800. At 800 now. Real done. A little bit at 800. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 105. Number 105, it's a horseman versus River. Number 105, I would like to start from 65 at 65 now. Now I'm looking for 65 at 65 at 65 now. Now I'm looking for 65 at 65 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 65 at 65 now. Now I'm still looking for 65. Follow number 105 at 65 at 65 now. Now I'm still looking for 65. I real done. A little bit at 65. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 106. Number 106 is White Horseman versus River. Number 106, I would like to start from 55 at 55 now. Now I'm looking for 55 at 55 at 55 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 55 for number 106 by Mercer River. Number 106 at 55 at 55 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 55 for number 106 at 55. Now I'm still looking for 55. Are we all done? Number bit at 55. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 107. To jump at this girl by Lehman Fall. Number 107. I would like to set from 1-8 at 1-8 now. Now I'm looking for 1-8 at 1,800 1-8 at 1-8 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1-8 from 107 at 1-8 at 1-8 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1-8 at 1-8 now. Now I'm looking for 1-8. Real done. Number bit at 1-8. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 108. Number 108. It's a girl by Liverpool. Number 108. I would like to start from 1-8 at 1-8. Now I'm still looking for 1-8 at 1,800 at 1-8 now. Now I'm looking for 1-8 at 1-8. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1-8. For number 108 at 1-8. At 1-8 now. Are real done. Number bit at 1-8. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 109. Broken Heart by Yopi Indiana. Number 109. I would like to start from 1-2 at 1-2 now. Now I'm looking for 1-2 at 1,200 at 1-2 at 1-2. Thank you very much. Now at 1-2 on telephone speed at 1-2 now. Now at 1-2 I'm looking for 1-3 for the speed. Now at 1-2 on telephone speed at 1-2 at 1-2 now. 1-3. Thank you. Now at 1-3 at 1-3 now. Now at 1-3 at 1-3 now. Now at 1-3 1-4. Thank you. Now at 1-4 at 1-4 now. Now at 1-4 at 1-4 now. I'm looking for 1-5 for the speed at 1-4. Now at 1-4 I'm looking for 1-5 for the speed at 1-4 now. 1-5. Thank you. Now at 1-5. You are on internet bit at 1-5 at 1-5 now. Telephone speed it gets you both now. Now at 1-5 I'm looking for 1-6 for the speed. Now at 1-5 at 1-5 now. Now at 1-5 at 1-5 now. Now at 1-5. Oh, well done. No bit. I'm gonna count it 1,500 going once. Now at 1-5 going twice. Oh, well done. No bit. 3-1. I'm gonna say now at 1-5. So at 1-5 to internet bit, thank you. Congratulations at 1-5. Now we move to level 110. 110. It's a reconstructing spirituality by Anthony Caputra. The current bid is at 600 on internet bid at 600 now. Now at 600 at 600 now. Now at 600 at 600 now on internet bid at 600 at 600 now. I'm looking for 650 650. Thank you. New bidder on internet bid at 650 now. Now at 650. Previous internet bid it's going to now. I'm back to you now at 650. I'm looking for 700 for the next bid. Now at 650 at 650 now. Now at 650. At 650 now, I'm looking for 700 for the next bid. Now at 650, 700. Thank you. Now at 700. At 700 now. Now at 700. At 700 now. Now at 700. At 700 now, I'm looking for 750 for the next bid. Now at 700. At 700 now. We're all done. Number bid. I'm going to count it at 700 going once. Now at 700 going twice. We're all done. Number bid 3-1. I'm going to say that now at 700. So at 700 bit, thank you. Congratulations at 700. Now we move to level 111. Level 111. It's a promo by Jennifer Aniston. I would like to start from 900 and 900 now. Now at 900. I'm looking for 900 at 900. Now at 900. Now I'm looking for 900 for level 111 by Jennifer Aniston at 900. Now I'm still looking for 900. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 900. Level 111 at 900. Well done. Number bid at 900. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 112. Level 112. It's a very good region. Jennifer understand. I would like to start from 400 at 400 now. Now I'm looking for 400 at 400. Now I'm looking for 400 at 400 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 400 for level 112. Jennifer understand at 400. At 400 now. Now I'm still looking for 400. Well done. Lower bid at 400. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 113. Level 113. Level 113, it's Flower Garden by Halvicher. Level 113. I would like to start from 1.5 at 1.5 now. Now I'm looking for 1.5. 1.5. 1,500. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now and 1.5. Thank you. Now at 1.5 on internet bid at 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. I'm looking for 1.6 for the next page. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now on internet bid at 1.5. Looking for 1.6 for the next page. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Anyone? Now at 1.5 on internet bid. I'm looking for 1.6 for the next page. At 1.5 now. Well done. No bid fair warning. I'm going to do it now at 1.5. So at 1.5 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.5. Now we move to level 114. It's a prayer in silence by Nyoman Masriadi. Level 114. I would like to start with 1.3 at 1.3 now. Now I'm looking for 1.3 at 1,300 at 1.3. Now I'm looking for 1.3. Level 114 at 1.3 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1.3 at 1.3 now. Now 1.3. Thank you. Now at 1.3 at 1.3 now. On internet bid at 1.3. I'm looking for 1.4 for the next bid. Now at 1.3 at 1.3 now. Now at 1.3. I'm looking for 1.4 for the next bid. Now at 1.3 at 1.3 now. Anyone? Want to be more than 1.3? Now at 1.3. Well done. No bit fair warning. I'm guessing now at 1.3. So 1.3 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.3. Now we move to number 115. It's a landscape by Affandi. Number 115. I would like to start from 1.9 at 1.9 now. Now I'm looking for 1.9 at 1.9. Now I'm still looking for 1.9 for number 115 at 1.9. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1.9 at 1.9. For 115 by Affandi at 1.9. At 1.9. Now I'm looking for 1,900 at 1.9. Well done. Number bid at 1,900. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 116. Number 116 is a Jukung boat by Mr. Khan. Number 116. I would like to start from 1.3 at 1.3 now. Now I'm looking for 1.3 at 1.3 at 1.3 now. Now I'm looking for 1.3 for number 116 at 1.3 at 1.3 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1.3 for number 116 at 1.3 at 1.3 now. Now I'm looking for 1.3 at 1,300 at 1.3 now. Well done. Number bid 1.3. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 117. Number 117 is a bit mindful and figured by Zero. The current bid is at 2.8 on internet bid at 2.8 now. Now 2.8, I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2.8, 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000 at 3,000 now. Now 3,000. Previous internet bid indication. Now I'm back to you now 3,000. I'm looking for 3.2 for the next bid. Now 3,000 at 3,000 now. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3.2 for the next bid. Now 3.2. Thank you. Now 3.2 at 3.2 now. Back to previous bidder at 3.2 at 3.2 now. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now 3.2 at 3.2 now. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. At 3.2 now. Now 3.2. Anyone want to be more than 3.2? Now 3.2. Well done. More bid. 3.4. Thank you. Now 3.4 at 3.4 now. Now 3.4. I'm looking for 3.6 for the next bid. Now 3.4 at 3.4 now. Now 3.4 at 3.4 now. Well done. More bid at 3.4. I'm going to count at 3,400 going once. Now 3.4 going twice. Well done. More bid fair warning. I'm going to send it now 3.4. So at 3.4 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 3.4. Now we move to level 118. It's an evening landscape. I will put it close to level 118. I would like to start from 1.5 at 1.5 now. Now I'm looking for 1.5 at 1.5. Now I'm still looking for 1.5 at 1.5 now. For level 118 at 1.5. Now I'm still looking for 1.5. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1.5 for level 118 at 1.5 now. Now I'm still looking for 1.5. At 1.5 now. A real done. Lower bid at 1.5 at 1,500. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 119. Level 119 is a repeated to offer Budur. Also, Puno. I would like to start from 1.4 at 1.4. 1,400 at 1.4. Now I'm looking for 1.4. 1.4 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1.4 at 1,400 at 1.4. Now I'm still looking for 1.4 at 1.4 now. Now I'm still looking for 1.4. Anyone? At 1.4 now. A real done. Lower bid at 1.4. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 120. Level 120 is a 2 Leopard by Pop Iskander. The current bid is at 2.8 on it at 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Previous internet bid situation now. I'm back to now 3,000. I'm looking for 3.2 for the next bid. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. I'm looking for 3.2 for the next bid. 3.2. Thank you. Now 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now 3.2. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now 3.2. At 3.2 now. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now 3.2. At 3.2 now. Well done. Normal bid at 3.2. I'm gonna count 3.4. Thank you. Now 3.4. At 3.4 now. Now 3.4. I'm looking for 3.6 for the next bid. Now 3.4. At 3.4 now. Now 3.4. At 3.4 now. Anyone? One bit more than 3.4. Now 3.4. A real done. Normal bid. I'm gonna count it 3.4 going once. Now 3.4 going twice. A real done. Normal bid. Fair warning. We're gonna say now 3.4. Sport at 3.4 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 3.4. Now we move to level 121. 121. It's a cat by Pop Iskander. Level 121. The current bid is 2.8 on internet bid at 2.8 now. Now 2.8. We have about 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2.8. 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Previous internet bid schedule now. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. 3.2 for the next bid. Now at 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now 3,000. 3.2. Thank you. Now 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now 3.2. Back to previous bidder at 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now 3.2. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now. Anyone? What a bit more than 3.2. Now at 3.2. I reeled down. A bit at 3.2. I'm going to count it at 3.2 going once. Now 3.2 going twice. I reeled down. A bit fair warning. I'm going to now 3.2. So at 3.2 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 3.2. Now we move to level 122. Calligraphy by Motorapin. The current bid is 2,000 on internet bid. 2,000 now. Now 2,000. I'm looking for 2.2 for the next bid. Now 2,000. At 2,000 now. Now to 2.2. Now 2.2. At 2.2 now. Now 2.2. At 2.2 now. Now 2.2. I'm looking for 2.4 for the next bid. Now 2.2. At 2.2 now. 2.4. Thank you. Now 2.4. Back to previous bidder at 2.4. At 2.4 now. Now 2.4. I'm looking for 2.6 for the next bid. Now 2.4. At 2.4 now. Now 2.4. I'm looking for 2.6 for the next bid. At 2.4 now. Now 2.4. I'm looking for 2.6 for the next bid. At 2.4 now. 2.6. Thank you. Now 2.6. At 2.6 now. Now 2.6. At 2.6. 2.8. Now 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now 2.8. Looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2.8. At 2.8 now. Now 2.8. At 2.8 now. Real done. A bit at 2.8. I'm going to count it at 2.8 going once. Now 2,800 going twice. Real done. More bit clear warning. I'm going to now 2.8. So 2,800 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 2.8. Now we move to level 123. By Nyoman Masriadi. I would like to start from 1.5 at 1.5 now. Now I'm looking for 1.5 at 1.5. Now I'm looking for 1.5 at 1.5 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1.5 for the 123 by Nyoman Masriadi at 1.5. Now I'm looking for 1.5 at 1.5 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1.5 for level 123 at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now I'm looking for 1.5. Well done. Robert at 1.5. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 124. Level 124 by Senpao. I would like to start from 800 at 800 now. Now at 800, I'm looking for 800. At 800. Now I'm looking for 800. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 800 for level 124 by Senpao. At 800. At 800 now. Now I'm looking for 800. At 800 now. Well done. Robert at 800. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 125. Level 125. It's a metropole by Fudger Stick. The current bid is a 2.8 on internet bid at 2.8 now. Now 2.8. I'm looking for 3,000 for the next bid. Now 2.8. At 2.8 now. 3,000. Thank you. Now 3,000. At 3,000 now. Now at 3,000. At 3,000. I'm looking for 3.2 for the next bid. Previous internet bid is changing now. Now at 3,000. I'm looking for 3.2 for the next bid. Now at 3.2. Thank you. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now. I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now. Now 3.2. At 3.2 now, I'm looking for 3.4 for the next bid. Now at 3.2. At 3.2 now, well done. Normally, I'm going to count the 3.2 going once. Now at 3.2 going twice. Well done. Normally, favorable. I'm going to say now 3.2. So at 3.2 to the bid. Thank you. Congratulations. At 3.2. Now we move to level 126. Level 126. It's Angelo Jolie by Mr. Gusigura Udiantara. The current bid is 1.5 on internet at 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5 on internet bid at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Well done. Normal bid fair warning. I'm getting it now at 1.5. So at 1.5 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.5. Now we move to level 127. It's a 2-number formant by Pingsong. Level 127. I would like to start from 1.4 at 1.4 now. Now I'm looking for 1.4 at 1.4 at 1,400 at 1.4. Now I'm looking for 1.4. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1.4. Level 127 by one Pingsong at 1.4 now. Now I'm looking for 1.4 at 1.4 now. A real number bid at 1,400. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 128. Level 128. It's a street musician by Stupo. I would like to start from 1,000 at 1,000 now. Now I'm looking for 1,000 at 1,000 at 1,000 now. Now I'm still looking for 1,000 at 1,000. Now I'm still looking for 1,000. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 1,000 for number 128 by Stupo at 1,000. At 1,000 now. A real number bid at 1,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 129. Level 129 is a temple festival by Madi Adi Antara. I would like to start from 1.2 at 1.2 now. Now at 1.2, I'm looking for 1.2 at 1.2. 1.2, thank you. Now at 1.2, at 1.2 now. Now at 1.2. At 1.2 now, I'm looking for 1.3 for the next bit. Now at 1.2. At 1.2 now. Now at 1.2, I'm looking for 1.3 for the next bit. Now at 1.2 on internet bit at 1.2. At 1.2 now, anyone want to be more than 1,200? Now at 1.2, a real done. 1.3, thank you. Now at 1.3, on internet bit at 1.3. At 1.3 now. Now at 1.3. At 1.3 now. Now at 1.3. Now at 1.3. Previous internet bit education now. Now at 1.3, I'm looking for 1.4 for the next bit. Now at 1.3. 1.3 now. Now at 1.3. At 1.3 now. Now at 1.3. At 1.3 now. A real done. I'm going to count it at 1,300 going once. Now at 1.3 going twice. A real done. I'm going to say now at 1.3. So 1.3 to internet bit. Thank you. Congratulations at 1.3. Now we move to level 130. It's in Harvest Prosperity by Partly. Level 130, I would like to start from 6,000. 6,000 now. Now 6,000. At 6,000. Now I'm looking for 6,000. At 6,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now I'm still looking for 6,000 for the 130. At 6,000. At 6,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 6,000 for the 130. at 6,000. At 6,000 now. Now I'm looking for 6,000. A real done. A little bit at 6,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 131. It's an ordinance ceremony at Purasamon Tigabali by Denabikono. Level 131, I would like to start from 19 at 19. At 1,900 at 19. Now I'm looking for 19 at 1,900. Now I'm looking for 19. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 19 for level 131 at 19. At 19. Now I'm looking for 19 for level 131 at 19. At 19 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 19. At 19. A real that number bit is 19. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 132. Level 132 is a must command by entering rehearsal. I would like to start from 15 at 15. Now I'm looking for 15 at 15 now. Now I'm looking for 15 at 15. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 15 for level 132 at 15. 15. Thank you. Now at 15 at 15. At 15 now I'm looking for 16 for the next bit. Now at 15. At 15 now. Now at 15. At 15 now, anyone? Now I'm looking for 16 for the next bit. 16, thank you. Now at 16, you better on internet bit to 16. At 16 now, previous internet bit against you now. I'm back to you now at 16. I'm looking for 17 for the next bit. Now at 16. At 16 now. Now at 16. At 16 now, I'm looking for 17. Now at 16. At 16 now, a real I'm going to count 1,600 going once. Not 16 going twice. A real I'm going to select now at 16. So at 16 to internet bit, thank you. Congratulations at 16. Now we move to number 133. This is Street Vendor by William Hawker. Lot number 133, the current bid is 600 on internet bid at 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now on internet bid at 600. I'm looking for 650 for the next bid. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. I'm looking for 650 for the next bid. At 600 now. Anyone want to be more than 600? Now at 600 on internet bid at 600 now. At 600. Now at 600. The real done. No more bid fair warning. I'm going to select now at 600. So at 600 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 600. Now we move to level 134. Executive chain by Cristiano. The current is 1,000 on internet bid at 1,000 now. Now at 1,000. At 1,000 I'm looking for 1 for the next page. Now at 1,000. At 1 1. Thank you. Now at 1 1. At 1 1 now. Now at 1 1. Now at 1 1. At 1 1. Now at 1 1. I'm looking for 1 2 for the next page. Previous internet page education now. Now at 1 1. I'm looking for 1 2 for the next page. Now at 1 1. At 1 1. Give me from infallible platform at 1 1. At 1 1. Now at 1 1. At 1 1 now. I real done. I'm going to count it at 1,100 going once. Not 1,100 going twice. I real done. I'm going to select now at 1 1. So 1,120 infallible. Thank you. Congratulations at 1 1. Now we move to level 135. Level 135, it's a woman with birth by Swaji. Level 135, I would like to start from 800 at 800 now. Now at 800, I'm looking for 800 at 800. Now I'm looking for 800. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 800 for level 135 at 800. Now I'm looking for 800 at 800 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 800 for level 135 at 800. At 800 now. Or real done. Number at 800. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 136. Level 136, it's Borbull by Entuado. I would like to start from 500. 500 now. Now at 500. At 500. Now we get 500. At 500 now. For level 1 to 500. Thank you. Now at 500. On internet page at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500. I'm looking for 550 for the next page. Now at 500. At 500 now. Anyone want a bit more than 500? At 500 now, 550. Thank you. Now at 550, you better on internet bid at 550. At 550 now. Now at 550. at 550 now. Previous internet exchange now. I'm back to you now at 550. I'm looking for 600 for the bit. Now at 550. At 550 now. Now at 550. At 550 now. Anyone? Now at 550. Real done. Normally I'm gonna count it at 550 going once. Now at 550 going twice. Real done. Normally if I want, I'm gonna now at 550. So 550 to internet bit. Congratulations at 550. Now we move to level 137. It's flowers by Mercury. I would like to start from 800 at 800 now. Now at 800. At 800. I'm looking for 800. At 800 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 800. At 800 now. Now I'm looking for 800 for level 137 at 800. At 800 now. Now I'm looking for 800. At 800. A real done. Robert at 800. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 138. Level 138 is citizens. Ankama. I would like to start from 300 to 300 now. Now 300. At 300. Now I'm looking for 300. At 300. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 300. For the 138. At 300. At 300 now. Now I'm looking for 300. At 300 now. A real done. At 300. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 139. Level 139. It's a space by Yo. I would like to start from 400 at 400 now. Now at 400. At 400. At 400 now. Now I'm looking for 400. Number 139 at 400. At 400 now. Now I'm looking for 400. Thank you now. 400. At 400 now. On internet bid at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400 on internet bid. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. The real done. No bid fair warning. I'm cancel it now at 400. So at 400 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 400. Now we move to level 140. This choice by Burgos Triolo. I would like to start from 500 at 500. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500. At 500 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 500. At 500 now. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500. 500. Thank you. Now at 500. Only internet bid at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500. I'm looking for 550 for the bid. Now at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500. I'm looking for 550 for the next bid. At 500 now. Anyone want to make more than 500? Now at 500. Real done. Never bit fair warning. I'm getting it now at 500. So at 500 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 500. Now we move to level 141. Level 141, which is the rise of new generations by Alexander Ming and Sarvoko. Level 141, I would like to start for 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1, 2 at 1,200. At 1, 2. At 1, 2. Now I'm looking for 1, 2. At 1,200. At 1, 2. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1, 2. At 1,200. At 1, 2. Now I'm looking for 1, 2. At 1, 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1, 2. A real done. Repeat at 1, 2. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 142. Level 142 is fishing by Nyoman Masriadi. Level 142, I would like to start from 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. At 400. Now at 400. I'm looking for 400. At 400 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 400. At 400 now. Now I'm looking for 400. At 400 now. Now I'm looking for 400. The real done. Lower bit 400. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 143. Level 143 is Nature's Movement by Nansar. The current bid is 1.7 on internet bid at 1.7 now. Now at 1.7, I'm looking for 1.8 for the next bid. Now at 1.7. At 1.7 at 1.8. Thank you. Now at 1.8. At 1.8 now. Previous internet bid is now. I'm back to you now at 1.8. I'm looking for 1.9 for the next bid. Now at 1.8. At 1.8 now. Now at 1.9. Thank you. Now at 1.9. At 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 19. At 19. Now at 19, I'm looking for 2000 for the next bid. At 19. Now 2000. Thank you. Now 2000. At 2000 now. Now 2000. I'm looking for 22 for the next bid. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Now 2000. At 2000 now. Well done. A little bit. I'm gonna count it in 2000 going once. 22. Thank you. Now at 22. At 22 now. Now at 22. At 22 now. I'm looking for 24 for the next bit. Now at 22. At 22 now. Now at 22. At 22 now. I'm looking for 24 for the next bit. Now at 22. At 22 now. Well done. A little bit. I'm gonna count it 22 going once. Now 2,200 going twice. Well done. A little bit. I'm gonna select now at 22. So at 22 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations. At 22. Now we move to the 144 position now. And the recent purple metallist rainbow lambskin wallet. I would like to start from 900 at 900 now. Now at 900, I'm looking for 900. At 900. At 900. Now I'm looking for 900. For the 144, 900. Thank you. Now at 900, oriented bid at 900 now. Now at 900, I'm looking for 950 for the next bid. Now at 900. At 900 now. At 900. Now at 900. At 900 now. Anyone want to be born in 900 now? At 900 only into the page. At 900 now. I'm looking for 950 for the page. At 900 now. Well done. No more big fair warning. I'm going to now at 900. So at 900 to internet bid. You can congratulations at 900. Now we move to level 145. Level 145 for uncommon. I would like to start from 500 at 500 now. Now at 500. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500. At 500 now. Now I'm looking for 500 for level 145 at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500, I'm looking for 500. At 500 now. Now I'm looking for 500. A real time. Normal bid at 500. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 146. Number 146. It's a mountain landscape. Still, I would like to start for 500. At 500 now. Now at 500. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500. At 500 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 500. On number 146. At 500. At 500 now. A real done. Number bid 500. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 147. Number 147 is the seat lady. Benjamin 4. Number 147. I would like to start from 18 at 18 now. Now I'm looking for 18 at 18. Now I'm looking for 18 for number 147. Benjamin 4 at 18. At 18 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 18 1,800 at 18 now. Now I'm looking for 18. A real done. Number 1,800. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 148. It's a single lady by number 4. The current bid is 18 on internet bid at 18 now. Now at 18. At 18 now. I'm looking for 19 for the next bid. Now at 18 on internet bid at 18. At 18 now. At 18. I'm looking for 19 for the next bid. At 18 now. Anyone want to be more than 18? At 18 now. A real number bid fair warning. I'm getting it now at 18. So 1,800 to internet bid. And you can congratulations at 18. Now we move to level 149. Level 149. It's a balance seller by Fuzzy. The current bid is at 600. Only internet bid at 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now. Make it for 650 for the next page. Now at 600. At 600 now. 650. Thank you. Now at 650. New bidder on internet bid at 650. At 650 now. I'm looking for 700 for the next bid. Now at 650. At 650 now. Now at 650. At 650 now. I'm looking for 700 for the next bid. 700. Thank you. Now at 700. Back to private bidder at 700. At 700 now. Now at 700. At 700 now. I'm looking for 750 for the next bid. Now at 700. At 700 now. Now at 750. Thank you. Now at 750. At 750 now. Now at 750. At 750 now. Now at 750. At 750 now. I'm looking for 800 for the next bid. Now at 750. 800. Thank you. Now at 800. At 800 now. Now at 800. At 800 now. Now at 800. I'm looking for 850 for the next bid. Now at 800. At 800 now. Now at 800. I'm looking for 850 for the next bid. At 800. Now at 800 on internet bid at 800. At 800 now. Are we all done? Another bid. I'm gonna count it at 800 going once. Now at 800 going twice. Are we all done? Another bid. Fair warning. I'm gonna set it now at 800. So 800 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 800. Now we move to level 150. Level 150 is a letting bird cage. We do you one. The current is at 600. Only at 600 now. Now at 600. At 600. I'm looking for 650. 650. Thank you. Now 650. Now at 650. On info at 700. Thank you. Now at 700. At 700 now. Now at 700. At 700 now. Now at 700. I'm looking for 750 for the next bid. Now at 700. If I will be against you now, I'm back to you now at 700. I'm looking for 750 for the next bid. Now at 700. At 700 now. Now at 700. I'm looking for 750 for the next bid. At 700. A real done. Lower bid. I'm gonna count it at 700 going once. Now at 700 going twice. A real done. Lower bid. Fair warning. I'm gonna sell it now at 700. So at 700 to enter the bid. Congratulations at 700. Now we move to level 151. It's an overlap by bid.global. The current bid at 400 on internet bid at 400 now. Now at 400, I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Now at 400. At 400 now. On internet bid, 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. Anyone want a bit more than 400? Now at 400. A real done. No bit fair warning. I'm going to say now at 400. Sold at 400 to internet bid. Congratulations at 400. Now we move to 152. It's Veteran Host Let's Go by Hans Jabbar. I would like this at 1 2. At 1 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1 2. At 1 2. At 1,200 and 1 2. At 1 2 now. Now at 1 2. I'm looking for 1 2. At 1,200. At 1 2. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1 2. At 1,200. At 1 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1 2. At 1,200. At 1 2 now. I real done. Look at the 1 2. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 153. Level 153 is a cockerel by Choro. I would like this at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now at 1,000. I'm looking for 1,000. At 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now I'm looking for 1,000. At 1,000 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1,000 for 153 by Choro. At 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now I'm looking for 1,000. At 1,000. Now I'm still looking for 1,000. Well done. Robert at 1,000. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 154. Level 154 is an umbrella by Richard Tiding. The current bid is 1 4. On internet bid at 1 4 now. Now at 1 4, we go to 1 5 for the next bid. Now at 1 4. 1 5. Thank you. Now at 1 5. You're on internet bid at 1 5. At 1 5 now. Previous internet bid. Thank you now. I'm back to you now at 1 5. I'm looking for 1 6 for the next bid. Now at 1 5. At 1 5 now, I'm looking for 1 6 for the next bid. Now at 1 5. At 1 5 now. Now at 1 5. I'm looking for 1 6 for the next bid. At 1 5. Now at 1 5. A real done. No bid at 1 5. I'm going to count it at 1 5 going once. Now at 1 5 going twice. A real done. Another bid for warning. I'm going to count 1 5. Sold at 1 5 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1 5. Now we move to level 155. It's an hold by Affandi. I would like this at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 400. At 400. Now I'm looking for 400 for level 155. At 400. At 400 now. Now I'm still looking for 400. At 400 now. Now I'm still looking for 400. At 400 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 400 for level 155 by Affandi. At 400. At 400 now. A real done. No bid at 400. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 156. Level 156 is an ocean with Hendra Gunawan. Level 156, I would like to start from 200 at 200 now. Now 200. I'm looking for 200 at 200. Now I'm looking for 200 at 200 now. Now I'm looking for 200. 156 by Hendra Gunawan at 200. At 200 now. Now I'm still looking for 200. At 200 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 200. At 200 now. Real done. Number bid at 200. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 157. Level 157, it's a drawing with child, Toronto. I would like this at 400. 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 400. 400. Thank you. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next page. Now at 400. At 400 now. On internet bid at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next page. Now at 400. 450. Thank you. Now at 450. Limiter on internet bid at 450. Previous internet bid. Thank you now. I'm back to you. Now at 450. I'm looking for 500 for the next page. Now at 450. At 450 now. At 450. Now at 450. I'm looking for 500 for the next page. Now at 450. At 450 now. Real down. A little bit. I'm going to cut it at 450 going once. Now at 450 going twice. Real down. A little bit. Fair warning. I'm now at 450. So at 450 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 450. Now we move to level 158. It's a break at the turn by Kubos. I would like to set 600 at 600 now. Now at 600. At 600. Now I'm looking for 600. At 600 now. Anyone? 600. Thank you. Now at 600. On internet bid at 600 now. Now at 600. I'm looking for 650 for the next page. Now at 600. At 600 now. Now at 600. At 600 now. I'm looking for 650 for the next page. Now at 600. At 600 now. Anyone? What about more than 600? Now at 600. On the internet bid at 600. At 600 now. Real done. No bit. Fair warning. I'm going to say now at 600. So at 600 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 600. Now we move to number 159. It's an old card by Kumpos. The current bid is at 400. On the internet bid at 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next page. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next page. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now I'm looking for 450 for the next page. Now at 400 on internet bid at 400. A real down. Warning. I'm going to say now at 400. So at 400 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 400. Now we move to level 160. It's a horse by Mercer Berber. I would like to set for 55 at 55 now. Now I'm looking for 55 at 55 at 5,500. Now I'm looking for 55. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 55 for the 160 at 55 at 5,500 at 55 now. Now I'm still looking for 55 at 55. A little 160 at 55. Now I'm still looking for 55. Real done. Lower bid at 5,500. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 161. Level 161. This one though by David Armiputra. I would like to start from 800 at 800 now. Now I'm looking for 800 at 800. At 800 now. Now I'm looking for 800. Thank you. Now at 800. On internet bid at 800. At 800 now. Now at 800. I'm looking for 850 for the next page. Now at 800. On internet bid at 800. I'm looking for 850 for the next page. Now at 800 on internet bid. At 800 now. A real done. Normal bid. Fair warning. And now at 800. So at 800 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 800. Now we move to level 162. It's an answer by Estetica. The current bid is 500 on internet at 500 now. Now at 500, we're looking for 550 for the next page. Now at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500. I'm looking for 550 for the next page. At 500 now. Now at 500. At 500 now. Anyone? What about more than 500? Now at 500. On internet bid at 500. At 500 now. Now at 500. At 500 now. A real down. No more bid. Fair warning. Cancel it now. At 500. So at 500 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 500. Now we move to level 163. It's a temple and woman with first basket by Estoyo. Level 163. I would like to start from 500 and 500 now. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500. At 500. Now I'm looking for 500. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 500 for level 163. At 500. at 500 now. Now I'm looking for 500 at 500 now. I'm looking for 500 at 500 now. A real done. Number bid at 500. Thank you very much. Now we move to number 164. Your dose looks nice, but Salim, little bit 164. I would like to start from 400 at 400 now. Now at 400 at 400. Now I'm looking for 400. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 400 at 400 now. I'm still looking for 400 at 400 now. A real done. Move it at 400. 400. Thank you very much. Now at 400 on internet bid at 400 now. Now at 400. At 400 now. On internet bid at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid at 400 now. Now at 400. At 400 now. Anyone want a bit more than 400? Now at 400 on internet bid at 400. At 400 now. A real done. Number bid 3 warning. I'm going to sell it now at 400. So at 400 internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 400. Now we move to level 165. It's a picking by the opportunity. I would like to start from 1 2 at 1,200. 1 2 at 1 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1 2 at 1,200. At 1 2 at 1 2 at 1,200. At 1 2. Thank you now at 1 2 on internet bid at 1 2 at 1 2 now. At 1,200. At 1 2 at 1 2 now. I'm looking for 1 3 for the next bit. Now at 1 2 at 1 2 now. Anyone want a bit more than 1 2? Now at 1 2 on internet bid at 1 2 now. At 1 2 a real down for a bit at 1 2. Fair one. Get now at 1 2. So 1 2 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1 2. Now we move to the 166. It's a high heels by Josie. I would like to start from 400 at 400 now. Now at 400. At 400. At 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. At 400. Now I'm looking 400 for the 166 at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. 400. Thank you. Now 400 on internet bid at 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Now at 400. At 400 now. Now at 400. I'm looking for 450 for the next bid. Anyone want to be more than 400? Now at 400. At 400 now. A real done. No bid favor warning. I'm going to sell it now at 400. So at 400 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 400. Now we move to the 167. It's a Tosca by Underland. The current bid is 17 on internet bid at 17 now. Now at 17, I'm looking for 18 for the next bid. Now at 18. Thank you. Now at 18 with your on internet bid at 18. Previous internet bids. Thank you. Now I'm back to you now at 18. I'm looking for 19 for the next bid. Now at 18. At 18 now. Now at 18. I'm looking for 19 for the next bid. Now at 18. At 18 now. Now at 18. 19. Thank you. Now at 19. Back to previous year at 19. At 19. Now at 19. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 19. At 19 now. Now at 19. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 19. Real done. No more bid at 19. I'm going to cut it at 19 going once. Now at 19 going twice. Real done. No more bid for 1. I'm going to set it down at 19. So at 19 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 19. Now we move to the 168. It's Hermit by Kudat Padiana. I would like to start from 2000 at 2000 at 2000. Thank you. Now at 2000 on telephone page at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. I'm looking for 22 for the next page. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. At 2000 now on telephone page at 2000. I'm looking for 22 for the next page. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Anyone want to be more than 2000? Now at 2000 on telephone page at 2000. At 2000 now. Real done. No bid fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 2000. So at 2000, the telephone page 807. Thank you very much. 807. Now we move to level 169. It's a blue by Ricky. I would like to start from 400 at 400 now. Now at 400. At 400. Now I'm looking for 400. At 400 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 400 for level 169. At 400. At 400 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 400. At 400 now. Now I'm looking for 400. Real done. Normal bid at 400. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 170. Level 170. It's a local dance with Nyoman Masriadi. Level 170. I would like to start from 2000 at 2000 now. Now at 2000. At 2000. At 2000. Now I'm looking for 2000. At 2000 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 2000 for level 170. At 2000. At 2000 now. Now I'm still looking for 2000. At 2000 now. Roll down a little bit at 2000. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 171. It's a Japanese horse dance by Vidayat. I would like to start from 800 at 800 now. Now at 800. At 800. I'm looking for 800 for number 171. At 800. At 800 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 800. At 800 now. Now I'm still looking for 800. At 800 now. Now I'm still looking for 800 for number 171 by Vidayat. At 800. Real done. Normal bid at 800. Thank you very much. Now we move to lot number 172. Level 172 in Indonesian woman Maria here. Level 172. I would like to start with 19. Now I'm for 19 at 1900. 19 at 19. Now before 19 for level 172 at 19 at 1900 at 19. 19. Thank you. Now at 19 on internet at 19. I'm looking for 2000 for the next bit. Now at 19. I'm looking for 2000 for the next bit. At 19. Now at 19, I'm looking for 2000. At 19 now. Now at 19 on internet bit. Real done. No bit fair warning. I'm gonna set it now at 19. Sold at 19 to internet bit. Thank you. Congratulations at 19. Now we move to number 173. Number 173. It's a balance dancer by Rustamaji. The current bid is 18 on internet bit at 18 now. Now at 18, I'm looking for 19 for the next bit. Now at 18. At 18 now. Now at 19. Thank you. Now at 19. Now at 1 at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. I'm looking for 224 for the next bit. Now at 2000. At 2000 now. Now at 2000. 22. Thank you. Now at 22. At 24. Now at 24. At 24 now. Now at 24. I'm looking for 26 for the next bit. Now at 24. At 24 now. Real done. No bit. I'm going to count it at 2,400 going once. Now at 2,400 going twice. Real done. No bit. I'm going to sell it now at 24. Sold at 2,400 to internet bit. Thank you. And congratulations at 24. Now we move to lot number 174. It's a balance scroll by Rustamaji. To come in bit to 1 3 on the internet bit at 1 3 now. Now at 1 3, I'm looking for 1 4 for the next bit. Now at 1 3. At 1 3 now. Now at 1 3, I'm looking for 1 4 for the next bit. Now at 1 3. 1 4. Thank you. Now at 1 4. New bidder on internet bit at 1 4. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4. I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bit. Now at 1 4. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4, I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bit. At 1 4 now. Previous internet bits. Change you now. I'm back to you now at 1 4. I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bit. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4. At 1,400. Real done. Robert, I'm going to count it at 1 4 going once. Now at 1,400 going twice. Real done. Robert, fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 1 4. Sold at 1 4 to internet bit. Thank you. And congratulations at 1 4. Now we move to level 175. It's a fisherman by Listen Free Store. Level 175. I would like to start from 26 at 26 now. Now I'm looking for 26 at 26 at 2,600 at 26 now. Now looking for 26 for level 175 at 26 at 26 now. Anyone? Now I'm still looking for 26 for level 175 at 26 at 26 now. I real done. Lower bit at 2,600. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 176. Level 176. It's a ballet dancer by Ronald Challing. The current is a 1 3 on it at 1 3 now. Now at 1 3, I'm looking for 1 4 for the next bit. Now at 1 3. At 1 3 now. Now at 1 3. 1 4. Thank you. Now at 1 4. You're on it at 1 4. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4. At 1 4 now. I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bit. Previous internet bit. It's changing now. Now at 1 4. I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bit. Now at 1 5. Thank you. Now at 1.5. Back to previous period at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bit. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bit. At 1.5 now. Anyone want to be on at 1.5? Real down here a bit. I'm going to count it at 1.5 going once. Now at 1,500 going twice. A real down here a bit. I'm going to set it down to 1.5. So at 1,500 200 bit. Thank you and congratulations at 1.5. Now we move to level 177. It's a Bali-ness activity by Agung Wiranata. The current bid is 19 on internet bid at 19. At 19 now, I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 19. At 19. Now at 19, I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Anyone want to be more than 19? 2,000. Thank you. Now 2,000. 22. Thank you. Now 22. At 22 now. Now 22. At 22 now. Now 22. At 22 now. Now at 22. I'm looking for 24 for the next bid. At 22 now. Anyone? Now 22. At 22 now. On internet bid at 22. Real done. Or bit. I'm going to count it at 2,200 going once. Now at 2,200 going twice. Real done. Or bit. I'm going to sell it now at 22. So 2,200 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 22. Now we move to lot number 178. It's plowing the rice field by Agung Wiranata. The current bid is 1.5 on internet bid at 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. At 1.5. Now at 1.5, anyone want to be more than 1.5? At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. On internet bid at 1.5, a real done. Normal bid, warning. I'm getting it now at 1.5. So 1.5 to internet bid, thank you. Congratulations at 1.5. Now we move to number 179. Number 179 in front of the window by Soedarsono. The current bid is 1.5 on internet bid at 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6. 1.6, thank you. Now at 1.6. At 1.6 now. Now at 1.6, I'm looking for 1.7 for the next bid. Now at 1.6 in previous internet bid. It's occasion now. I'm back to you now at 1.6. I'm looking for 1.7 for the next bid. 1.7, thank you. Now at 1.7. Back to previous bidder at 1.7. At 1.7 now. Now at 1.7, I'm looking for 1.8 for the next bid. Now at 1.7. At 1.7 now. Now at 1.7. At 1.7 now, I'm looking for 1.8. Thank you. Now at 1.8. At 1.8 now. Now at 1.8, I'm looking for 1.9 for the next bid. Now at 1.8. At 1.8 now. 1.9. Thank you. Now at 1.9. At 1.9. Now at 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 1.9. At 1,900. Now at 1.9. 81. Now at 1.9. I'm looking for 2,000. Real done. Normal bid. I'm going to count it at 1,900 going once. Now at 1,900 going twice. Real done. Normal bid. Fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 1.9. So 1,900 to internet bid. Okay, congratulations at 1.9. Now we move to level 180 weight by Soedarsono. The current bid to 1.3 on internet bid at 1.3 now. Now at 1.3, I'm looking for 1.4 for the next bid. Now at 1.3. At 1.3 now. Now at 1.3, I'm looking for 1.4. Thank you. Now at 1.4. At 1.4 now. Now at 1.4, I'm looking for 5 for the next bid. Now at 1.4. At 1.4 now. Now at 1.4, I'm looking for 1.5 for the next bid. Now at 1.4. At 1.4 now, I'm looking for 1.5 for the next bid. Previous internet bids 1.5. Thank you. Back to previous internet bids at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5, I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. At 1.5 now, real done. Normal bid at 1.5, I'm going to count it 1,500 going once. Now at 1.5 going twice. Real done. Normal bid fair warning. I'm going to set it out at 1.5. So 1,520 bid. You can put it at 1.5. Now we move to number 181. It's a temple game by Junior. The current bid is 1.5 on internet bid. 1.5 now. Now it's 1.5. I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. On internet bid at 1.5. I'm looking for 1.6 for the next bid. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Anyone want to be more than 1.5? Now at 1.5 on internet bid at 1.5. At 1.5 now. Now at 1.5. A real time. Number bid fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 1.5. So at 1.5 to internet bid, you can congratulations at 1.5. Now we move to lot number 182. Number 182, it's a lot of the point by Affandi. The current bid is 1.3 on internet bid at 1.3 now. Now at 1.3, I'm looking for 1.4 for the next bid. Now at 1.3. At 1.3 now. Now at 1.3, I'm looking for 1.4. Thank you. Now at 1.4. At 1.4 now. Now at 1.4, I'm looking for 1.5 for the next bid. Now at 1.4. Internet bid against you now. Now at 1.4, I'm looking for 1.5 for the next bid. Now at 1.4. At 1.4 now. Now at 1.4, I'm looking for 1.5 for the next bid. At 1.4 now. Now at 1.4, a real done. Number bid is 1.4, I'm going to count it at 1,400 going once. Now at 1.4 going twice. A real done. Number bid favor warning, I'm going to send it out at 1.4. So at 1,400 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 1.4. Now we move to level 183. Level 183 is a fisherman balloon. I would like to start from 1 2 at 1,200 at 1 2 now. Now at 1 2 at 1 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1 2 at 1 2 now for level 183 at 1 2 at 1 2 now. Now I'm looking for 1 2 and instead of 1 bid at 1 2. I'm looking for 1 2 for the at 1 2 now. 1 2, thank you very much. Now at 1 2, I'm looking for 1 3 for the next bid. Now at 1 2 on telephone bid at 1 2. At 1 2 now, I'm looking for 1 3 for the next bid. At 1 2. Now at 1 2. At 1 2 now, anyone want to be more than 1 2? Now at 1 2 on telephone bid at 1 2, a real number bid at 1 2, fair warning. I'm going to set it now at 1,200. So at 1,208.19. Thank you very much. 819. Now we move to level 184. Level 184. It's an abstract by Zaini. The current bid is 1 3 on internet bid. 1 3 now. Now at 1 3, I'm looking for 1 4 for the next bid. Now at 1 3. At 1 3 now. Now at 1 3, I'm looking for 1 4 for 1 4. Thank you. Now at 1 4. At 1 4. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4, I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bid. Now at 1 4. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4, I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bid. Now at 1 4. Private internet bid attention now. Now at 1 4, I'm looking for 1 5 for the next bid. At 1 4 now. Now at 1 4. At 1 4 now. Real done. I'm going to count it at 1 4 going once. Now at 1,400 going twice. Real done. I'm going to set it down at 1 4. So 1,400 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 1 4. Now we move to level 185. Look about 185. It's a fisherman boat by Zaini. The current bid is 900. Only internet bid at 900 now. Now at 900, I'm looking for 950 for the next bid. Now at 900. At 900 now. Now at 900, I'm looking for 950 for the next bid. 950. Thank you. Now at 950. At 950 now. Previous internet bid. Against you now. Now at 950, I'm looking for 1,000 for the next bid. Now at 950. At 950 now. 1,000. Thank you. Now at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Back to previous bidder at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now at 1,000. At 1,000 now. Now at 1,000. I'm looking for 1 for the next bid. At 1,000. Now at 1,000. Now at 1,000 for the 185. At 1,000. A real number bid. I'm going to count it at 1,000 going once. Now at 1,000 going twice. A real number bid. Fair warning. I'm going to set it down at 1,000. So 1,000 to internet bid. Thank you and congratulations at 1,000. Now we move to level 186. It's a market by losing free tool. I would like to start from 1 2 at 1 2 now. Now at 1 2, I'm looking for 1,200 to 1 2 at 1 2 now. Now at 1 2. At 1 2 now. Anyone? Now I'm looking for 1,200 for level 186 at 1 2. At 1 2 now. A real done. Number bid at 1,200. Thank you very much. Now we move to level 187. Level 187. The Java War by Mahendra Yasa. The current bid is 1-3 on internet bid at 1-3 now. Now at 1-3, I'm looking for 1-4 for the next bid. Now at 1-3. At 1-3 now. Now at 1-3, I'm looking for 1-4 for the next bid. At 1-3. 1-4. Thank you. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now. Now at 1-4, I'm looking for 1-5 for the next bid. At 1-4 now. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now. Previous internet bid indication now. Now at 1-4, I'm looking for 1-5 for the next bid. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now. Real done. Normal bid, I'm going to have it at 1-4 going once. Now at 1,400 going twice. Real done. Normal bid, fair warning. I'm going to sell it now at 1-4. Sold at 1-4 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1-4. Now we move to level 188. Level 188 is a ramen story by Gede Prayasa. The current bid is the 1-4 on internet bid. 1-4 now. Now at 1-4, I'm looking for 1-5 for the next bid. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now, I'm looking for 1-5 for the next bid. At 1-4 now, anyone want to be on at 1-4? Now at 1-4 on internet bid at 1-4. At 1-4 now, a real done. Normal bid, I'm going to count it at 1,400 going once. Now at 1,400 going twice. A real done. Normal bid, fair warning. I'm going to let out 1-4. So 1,400 to internet bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1-4. Now we move to lot number 1. Lot number 189. Lot number 189 is a Malang Chinatown at Kumpul. The current is 1-1 on internet bid 1-1. At 1-1, I'm looking for 1-2 for the next bid. Now at 1-1. At 1-2, thank you. Now at 1-2. At 1-2 now. Now at 1-2, I'm looking for 1-3 for the next bid. Previous internet bid schedule now. Now at 1-2. At 1-2 now. Now at 1-2. At 1-2 now. I'm looking for 1-3 for the next bid. At 1-2 now. Now at 1-2. I'm looking for 1-3 for the next bid. At 1-2 now. Now at 1-2, 1-3. Thank you. Now at 1-3. Back to previous bidder at 1-3. At 1-3 now. Now at 1-3. I'm looking for 1-4 for the next bid. At 1-3 now. Now at 1-3. At 1-3 now. I'm looking for 1-4 for the next bid. At 1-3. Now at 1-3. A real done. Normal bid, I'm going to count it at 1,300 going once. Now at 1-3 going twice. A real done. Normal bid, fair warning. I'm going to set out 1-3. So 1,300 to enter the bid. Thank you. Congratulations at 1-3. Now we move to level 190. It's a landscape. The current bid is 1-3 on internet bid. 1-3 now. Now at 1-3, I'm looking for 1-4 for the next bid. Now at 1-3. At 1-3 now. 1-4. Now at 1-4. At 1-4 now. 1-5. Now at 1-5. At 1-5 now. Now at 1-5. At 1-5. 1-6. Thank you. Now at 1-6. 1-7. At 1-7 now. Now at 1-7. At 1-7. Now at 1-7. At 1-7 now, I'm looking for 1-8 for the next bid. Now at 1-7. At 1-7 now. At 1-7. 1-8. 1-9. Thank you. Now at 1-9. At 1-9. Now at 1-9. At 1-9, I'm looking for 2,000 for the next bid. Now at 1-9. At 1,900. Now at 1-9. Anyone want to be on 1-9? Now at 1-9 on internet bid at 1-9. At 1,900. Real done. Normal 2,000. Thank you. Now 2,000. 2-2. Thank you. Now 2-2. At 2-2 now. Now at 2-2. At 2-2 now. I'm looking for 2-4 for the next bid. Now at 2-2. At 2-2 now. At 2-2. Now at 2-2. Real done. Normal at 2,200. I'm going to cut it at 2,200 going once. Now at 2,200 going twice. Real done. Normal bid reward. I'm going to sell it now at 2,200. So at 2,200 to enter the bid. Thank you. At 2-2. And that's the conclude of our episode for today. Thank you for all the winner and congratulations to all the winner. We may see you again on the next year in 2026. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening and thank you very much.